whatsoever. And it's just a huge surprise. Again, this season, the Kings have no business being where they are right now. And for them to not be in this play-in is an absolutely huge success. And hopefully they can continue to avoid it.
It is interesting to look at a team like Oklahoma City and try to guess what their trajectory is going to be into contention. Who knows? Saw something today in The Athletic that we're going to talk more about. And Sam Amick mentioned it today when he was on with Jay Ross and with Dave Weglin. And he posted to The Athletic, or mentioned in The Athletic, they have a story in which an anonymous exec, coach, and scout are asked about the upcoming series. And it's interesting because they almost all agree on everything in the upcoming series that we know we're going to have. The coach, I think it was talking about Sacramento and the Warriors and said they haven't gone through the heartbreak yet. And I think that's necessary, almost like it's inevitable for your growth as a legitimate postseason team to go through that heartbreak emotionally. Intellectually, I understand that, but emotionally, it's like, oh no, I didn't sign up for that, did I? Well, I guess you do.
Yeah.
If you're a basketball fan.
Yeah, it's something I've honestly talked about that quite a bit as well, where I actually kind of look forward to it, because to me that's when the team building and the championship building really starts. Is you do have to lose in the postseason in order to truly understand, or I guess you don't have to lose, but you do have to go through a certain amount of struggle in the postseason. And when you go through that struggle, it hurts. But it's how you find out where you really do need to patch up and go into next season. And the Kings, more than likely, with their poor defense and with no answer at backup center, if I had to guess, those will be the 2 points in which are really, really going to hurt the Kings, and they'll learn that in a heartbreaking fashion that's where they need
growing
to address.
Pains, right?
Growing pains, absolutely. That's absolutely what that is.
Now, De'Aaron's child is too young to do what DeMar DeRozan's daughter did. Do any of the Kings have a child that can make
little firecrackers,
ear-piercing bird noises?
Not that I can think of. This is one of the downfalls of the Kings having so many young guys. Harrison Barnes is actually one of the older guys at 30. And I don't think anybody has a kid that's, over 4, maybe 5 years old.
All right.
I could be wrong on that. Yeah, I'll have my people look into it.
Coming up, Mike Brown on the Kings' lack of playoff experience and how to deal with that. That's next on The Push. Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Only 1 week left to file your taxes. But don't worry, Jackson Hewitt is racking up the assists. We guarantee your biggest tax refund and guarantee the accuracy of your return for life. So make a fast break to Jackson Hewitt. Our tax pros will get you filed or get you an extension before the deadline. Beat the clock and the crowds. Come in and file today. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
Get off the bench and head down to Fasteners Tool Outlet, where you'll find the lowest prices on Milwaukee power tools and much more. Why pay more at a big box store? Get a triple-double at Fasteners Tool Outlet with weekly and monthly specials, including up to 50% off select hand tools, batteries, power tools, and fasteners. Whether you're looking for a new pack-out box, woodworking equipment, or a Milwaukee impact driver, Fasteners Tool Outlet has the tools you need to do the job. Make a slam dunk with Fasteners Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road, or on the web at fastenersinc.net.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
How'd you like to go to a Kings playoff game? Can you imagine that? We got a Kings playoff game.
Ooh. 16 years
Saturday.
in the making. 17 years in the making. 16 seasons in the making.
Quick Quack Car Wash, Sactown Sports want to send you to a Kings playoff game. So here's what you do. Head to SactownSports.com now. You should be doing that anyway.
You should.
Checking out all the great content. Frankie has some really great Kings.
I had to hit him up yesterday. I said, are you good, man? Because it seems like every single day you're putting out fire, like absolutely incredible, unique content. And I'm not just plugging it. I know it sounds like I'm being a company man right now, but my guy is putting in work right now.
Yeah. He does look a little bit, I would say, like OKC coach Mike Dagnall. Maybe a little, but maybe just a little. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I have to look that up right now.
Maybe just a little. Head to SactownSports.com now. Register to win a pair of tickets to Game 2, first round at Golden One Center, all courtesy. Maybe a little?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just a little. Courtesy of Quick Quack, proud partner of the Sacramento Kings, more than 30 locations in the Sacramento area. At Quick Quack, wash your car all you want with the unlimited membership, which they call the Watkins family plan.
The Watkins guarantee.
Enjoy the fast service that will have your car clean, shined, and dried in under 3 minutes. On the YouTube chat, I got kind of mixed opinions on DeMar DeRozan's daughter last night.
Really?
Scooter 916. That was so irritating. DeMar should be embarrassed. Manny Tulagis says, I heard that scream from DeMar's daughter. That's funny as hell, screaming it for every free throw for the Raptors.
I've got no problem with it at all. I think it's hilarious. I think it's adorable. I think it's great. I don't know, something about the idea of like kids in the crowd just like that's what this game. It's a game. It's a literal game. People like, let the kids have fun at the games. They're the only ones who should be screaming. It can be annoying to sit behind them, but let them have the time of their lives.
I was impressed by how much poise she had and her sense of timing, and obviously
she knew what she was doing.
Basketball games.
She clearly knew what she was doing.
All right, free throw time, and at just the right moment. Again, I'm not going to try it because I've already injured myself.
You got to play it back on the YouTube if you want to hear. If you want to hear Whitey give his condor screech, you got to play it back on the YouTube.
Patagonian conure.
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 Oh, okay. Conure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Piercing.
I have so much to learn about birds.
Yeah. We all do. I'll tell you what's not fun is when you're running the pet shop in Vallejo and
you can
just
stop there.
You and the uncle, you and the nephew of the owners, and like, can you guys handle the store for the whole day? Yeah,
for sure.
And then like a $600 African gray parrot flies out the window.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it's like, what happened?
What do you even do at that point? Is it just gone?
Yeah.
You just release it into the wild?
Yeah. There's nothing. You can't get it back.
I guess, right. Yeah, there's not.
That was our
probably
first
a meal
day.
somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know. Vallejo's a pretty temperate climate. Probably started a whole family of, I'd had to find another one to start a family.
Yeah.
But anyway, good times in Vallejo. Good times for the Raptors. Not for the Raptors, but for the Chicago Bulls last night.
Yeah.
Mike Brown is hoping for good times starting Saturday. Mike Brown yesterday had to address it when he met with the media. The Kings have this lack of playoff experience that, I mean, you look at it, obviously we've all looked at the numbers like, oh my goodness, what a mismatch.
Yeah. It's going to be a long. Mike Brown knows though that his team, they're going to have to lock down and focus up if they want to play Golden State, because it's the only way that they're going to be able to make up for the lack of experience that they have as a team.
Mike Brown on the Kings' lack of playoff experience and how they deal with it.
I don't think there's any other way but to go through it. You prepare your team as best you can, and you talk to them about the experiences that you've had as a coach and as a player, and then you lace them up. You lace them up, and you go out there and you get through it. As we all know, there's no better teacher than experience. And but you can talk until you're blue in the face. You can watch film until you're blue in the face. You can drill it until you're blue in the face. It's hard to simulate what it's really going to be like until you actually go through it. And so we've done all those things. I mean, even at our team dinner last night, we had Deli address the group from his perspective of being a champion and going through the playoffs. We had HB address the group from his perspective. And then we had Leandro Barbosa as a player and as a coach address the group. So, again, we can keep throwing stuff at our guys, which we will, but at the end of the day, the best teacher is going to be actually going through it and seeing how you hold up to the different things that come your way, especially when they're adverse things.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty self-evident, right? The only way you get experience is to experience
through it, right?
Yeah. One of the people responding to the Athletic poll on what's going to go down in these series, this was an anonymous coach. An anonymous coach said, I'm still going to say the Warriors will win. The Kings don't have that playoff heartbreak yet. And you need to go through the playoffs, speaking of experience, and have a little heartbreak to learn how to play in them, in my opinion. And he goes on to say, Sacramento's had such a great year. Everybody I talk to, and I feel the same way, says this team is going to be set up for a letdown where the Kings just aren't ready for the intensity that the Warriors will bring.
There's an element to that for sure, where it's just they don't really quite have a full grasp of what it is that playing a highly experienced team like not only just entering the playoffs and understanding what playoff basketball feels like, but understanding what a 4-time champion, what this specific group can do to them and how difficult they'll make make life for them. I think I hear that for sure, but it's also I do love to hear Mike Brown say that he had the guys who have had that experience. He says Matthew Dellavedova, Harrison Barnes, Leandro Barbosa all spoke at the team dinner talking about their experience, their playoff experience. That's the best they can do. They all that they can do is share stories, share experiences, and try and get as mentally prepared as possible for that game. But it's going to be an uphill battle because that Golden State team, they have so much experience that they can lean on and just pull from, that it has to be, it definitely needs to be in the back of the Kings' mind that this Warrior team is going to try and put them in some weird situations.
Peyton Boye on the YouTube chat says 16 years is a playoff heartbreak. LOL. It's like, yeah, what do you haven't been through a heartbreak?
Right. That's yearly. That is routine. That is scheduled heartbreak right there is what we like to call it, because every single year, we've been going through it. Trust me.
Yeah, but obviously it has to do with the intensity.
Right.
I'm not one of those must-win guys. I despise it when during the regular season anyone says, this game tonight's a must-win, because during the regular season, unless you lose and you're out, it's not a must-win.
It's not a must-win.
So I think that term is overused, but I'm
leaning to well. There's a but there.
I don't know if the Kings can win this series if they don't win the first 2 games.
Yeah, 100%. I thought you were just going to say specific, even just the first game. It does feel like they need to get off on a good foot, because it feels like if they were to lose that first game, it puts a real sense of urgency on that second game. And then you get to that situation where, if you lose the first 2 games at home, now you're heading to Chase, having to at least win 1, hopefully win 2. You're just putting yourself in a tough situation again against a team that has the experience and just knows how you can even control a series. It's a game of numbers. Yeah,
it's an old cliche, a holding serve, and I also don't like that cliche. Exactly. The playoff series doesn't start until the road team wins, because, I've seen ones where the home team wins every game, so it didn't start. Right. So, but I understand that.
Never started, but it ended.
But if the Kings win the first 2, the Warriors are still going to feel, depending on how the games go and what happens,
they'll feel fine, right?
Taking injuries out of it, the Warriors are still like, we've been through this, and now they come to our place.
Right, exactly.
But if you lose one of those games, you lose home court that early while you're still trying to figure out everything about playoff intensity and how to play with the champs. I think that's going to be I think it could be insurmountable.
Yeah, and you were talking about earlier this week about how the Kings could instill a little bit of the Warrior drama that happened from this year to that same token, but on the opposite side. You could see how in that kind of situation where if the Kings lose game 1 or if they lose both game 1 and game 2, that's when Sacramento starts to kind of feel oh my gosh, maybe we are in over our heads. Maybe we don't know what we're doing. Maybe we do need to kind of go through this and learn some things before we can get anywhere near the level that these guys at. And that's where Golden State really wins. At that point, that's where, we're going to talk about it later, but that's where some of the analysts have started to pick Warriors in 4, Warriors in 5. And I could see that in that kind of situation where, the Kings just lose early and then lose self-confidence.
Do you agree that the Kings really need Harrison Barnes to play well? Not great necessarily, but he's got to play well. He hasn't played well against the Warriors.
Yeah, no, he definitely has to have some form of impact. The Kings cannot go with quiet Harrison Barnes nights. He needs to have some form of impact offensively and defensively, both. It can't be one or the other.
I call quiet Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes.
I love that. And
Come on, make some noise.
I am the person who, I feel like I give Harrison more flack than just about anybody else in the Sacramento media sphere, because I do feel like there's a huge element of he's either very present and he's scoring 24, 30 points per game. He's, looking like he can do a little bit of everything, or he's just doing a little bit of everything and not really making much.
He can't be doing his disappearing act.
Exactly. And the Kings are absolutely going to need him to have real impact in this series if they want to win.
First 2 games, maybe that goes without saying, but I think they're absolutely crucial. If the Kings lose one of the first 2, I don't know that they can win this series.
Yeah.
Coming up next, shut him down and the Warriors lose. Nope, not who you'd think. Tell you who next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com.
The regular season is over. Now the real test begins.
Kings will have the number 3 seed. They'll have the home court advantage.
Sactown Sports is your home for all things Kings as they enter into a first-round matchup with the Warriors.
Fox steps into 3. He stops a triple, and the Kings have regained the lead. But against the explosive Warriors, you can't hold your breath.
Stay tuned to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the most comprehensive Sacramento Kings playoff coverage.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Sunny skies this afternoon with temperatures warming into the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. North winds will be on the decrease and expect clear skies to last through the night tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Bonnie. Get ready to feel the roar when playoff basketball comes to Sacramento.
The Sacramento Kings are going to the playoffs.
Your Pacific Division champion Kings have clinched a spot in the 2023 NBA playoffs. Head to kings.com/playoffs for the latest news on games, tickets, watch parties, and more. Don't miss your chance to experience the Kings in the playoffs and cheer on your Sacramento Kings. Visit kings.com/playoffs now.
Warehouse Paint is where the local pros go for all of their paint project needs. Enjoy same-day turnarounds, same-day color matching, color consultation services, and free job site deliveries. With a large in-stock selection of PPG and Benjamin Moore paints and stains, and an expert sales team that is here to help, Warehouse Paint has exactly what you need to complete your next project. Visit warehousepaint.com to find a store near you. That's warehousepaint.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Oh my goodness, warm, dry weather. It's finally here, and it's time to get outdoors. Amy Ace Hardware and Amy's Outdoor Living celebrating with a huge warehouse sale, 3 days only, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 8 to 5 p.m. The warehouse is at 11255 Pyrites Way, Suite 200 in Gold River off Sunrise and 50. They've slashed prices on patio furniture, including top quality brands like Woodard & Brown, everything for your backyard, including umbrellas, cushions, fire pits, and lounge chairs. Find big discounts on floor model Weber, Traeger, and Big Green Egg grills. So here's what you do. Bring your truck, load it up. 3-day warehouse sale, 11255 Pyrites Way in Gold River off Sunrise and 50. Follow the signs to Amy Ace Hardware and Amy's Outdoor Living. Get out there and you tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number 1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave telling you something you already know, which is your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new furnace or air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. All you got to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote now, today. Do it right now. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home. You don't have to have somebody come out and walk around your house and blah, blah, blah. Just do the quoting tool. It's so easy. AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. I absolutely love these folks. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlato with your Sactown Sports headlines. No NBA today. The Bulls eliminated the Raptors yesterday with a 109-105 road win. Tomorrow they will face the Miami Heat for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder also got a play-in road win. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans 123-118. Thunder will take on Minnesota Timberwolves for their shot at the 8th seed. The Oakland A's broke a 6-game losing streak with an 8-4 win over the Orioles. A's will try and win their first series of the season today. The A's got on the board early. They currently lead the Orioles 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Sacramento Bee senior sports reporter Chris Peterman will join us at 11 to preview the upcoming Kings-Warriors playoff series. But now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
I got to say something about teams and the promises they make to their fans and what happens when they don't really fulfill them. And obviously Kings fans right now still celebrating the fact that the team not only had a good year, but is in the playoffs. And hopefully we've got a lot of glorious days to come. And it's like finally this has been promised and they delivered. If it takes a long time, that's fine because it's worth the wait. What's going on with the Giants right now? Real quick, we'll get back to the Warriors and the Kings. I think there's a disconnect between the Giants and their fans. And I think we saw it with this Dodgers series where the Dodgers rolled them. The new management there, the newer management, Farhan's kind of the face of it, but he's just doing what he's told to do. It's just carrying out his marching orders. And Farhan and the Giants, the newer regime, following the World Championships, they've said to the fans, we're going to be good every year. Well, Giants fans who remember these championships, to them, that means great.
Contention.
That means we're right there with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Right? We're winning 100 games or we're a threat to. We're better than the Dodgers, keeping up with the Dodgers, winning more championships. And I think if they were honest, the new front office would say, we don't mean that good. That's too expensive.
Right.
You know? So what happens is you end up with the series where I know they won one game and they're having issues figuring things out with a roster, but they're kind of ham and egging it and they're trying to be good while saving money, which of course is what the A's have been doing for years. And I think Giants fans are feeling like, no, we demand more than that. You're making money.
Right.
We need you to spend the money to keep up with the Dodgers.
Right. And, it's got to be frustrating because I know the Giants have tried, they've tried to go and swing for those big names, right? They tried to get the Carlos Correa. They tried to get the Aaron Judge. They tried to get the Bryce Harper. And
I think because they were, as far as Judge and Correa, because they were kind of forced to because fans were furious.
Right. Exactly. And so that seems to be the disconnect that you're talking about, right? Where it's like fans feel like they see all of these teams. They see the Dodgers go and spend money on not just one superstar, but multiple as well. And when the Giants fans feel like they have a certain quality of team that they expect to see on it. And like you're saying, I mean, when Giants fans hear, okay, we are going to be a good team, that means contending. And that means having multiple superstars on your roster. You see what's going on in San Diego right now. That's the kind of thing I think the Giants fans want to see from their roster.
Yeah, it's hard when you've got it going on in your division. The Dodgers didn't even do much this offseason, but they've got a good team. San Diego just keeps spinning and spinning. Then you got Arizona in the same division, and they're doing it the other way with just young players, and they're probably better at that than the Giants. So anyway, I know we really aren't that concerned about baseball right now, but the way that series went with the Giants and the Dodgers, it's just underwhelming. Well. I think for Giants fans, like you said, we'd be good. Threatening to win 86 games and get into one of the wild cards, that's not our idea of good.
Right. And even when the Giants were, in their elite phase, they had something elite that they could put, their pitching rotation was incredible. What do the Giants really do incredibly well right now? That's the open-ended question for you. Yeah.
Great ballpark promotions.
Yeah, beautiful
the telecasts are excellent.
Yeah. I think the
starting pitching's pretty good, I think.
It's pretty good. Right. Yeah. It's pretty good, but it's not, it's not to the level of these teams that we're talking about here. So and the teams that they want to be in the conversation with.
A lot of it obviously is about expectations. And so Kings fans, we're talking about the play-in, how great the play-in's going. And you were saying a lot of Kings fans felt going into this year that, hey, the play-in, that'd be something.
Right.
So then it'd be a 3 seed.
Yes.
Like, man.
I know. We're playing with house money.
It took them a long time, but they way over-delivered expectations this year.
No, absolutely. And, it's still surprising. I will continue to say it. It's still just the biggest surprise to me that they are in this position. I mean, teams just do not make this leap. You see what OKC is doing this year. Like I mentioned, that is more the natural line of progression for teams, is to go from perennially bad and then you kind of find a little bit of spark. You might slip into that 8, 9, 10 spot, and then the following season is the one where you take the jump. You don't just go from 16, 17 years of ineptitude and sadness and heartbreak and then the next season go to the third best team in your conference. It just doesn't happen that way.
And I think that's what a lot of these people in the league are saying is like, yeah, it's great, but you don't go from that and then just all of a sudden have playoff success.
Yeah.
Maybe they're wrong. It can happen,
but
it is rare.
And I don't blame all these writers and coaches and GMs and everyone who's being polled right now who does heavily lean on the experience factor. I don't blame them. I know Kings fans don't want to hear that a bunch of media and a bunch of people are taking the Warriors and think the Warriors are going to win, but you have to respect the fact that these guys are 4-time champions. They've done this. They did it as recently as last year in a semi-similar situation, and they're having their full team back. You have to acknowledge the fact that the Warriors haven't had Andrew Wiggins for a majority of this season. They're just getting Gary Payton the second back. I think now they have 8 of their 9 rotation guys from last postseason. So now they're kind of just getting back to that team that they were last year and that we've seen for the first time all year. And so you have to, it's almost like how I've been talking about the Lakers and how the Lakers, you can't look at what they were the first half of the season. You can't look at the 2-10 team. It's more about that 16-7 team since post All-Star, because that's the team that they are now. And with the Warriors, it's even harder because we just haven't seen that team all season long. This is the first time that the Warriors will be at full, quote unquote, full strength.
Chris Watkins, somebody coming down your road on the YouTube chat. King's Pulse. We were
Oh,
talking about
King's
Harrison
Pulse,
Barnes.
that-
Chris is notorious for trusting Harrison Barnes to show up every night.
Oh, King's Pulse. Just be
I
quiet.
think
I mean, he's
just
pulling
having
my
a little
leg.
fun.
He
and I
knows.
think he said,
He
he's
knows the
he's right.
truth. Yeah.
Kings do need Harrison Barnes to show up.
No, I mean, absolutely. And King's Pulse, Brendan Nunez knows that I have been very, I wouldn't even say hot and cold, because I am generally just always expecting more from Harrison Barnes. It just is the fact. And it's always been because I see, kind of like I mentioned earlier, it just feels like he has the ability to do a little bit of everything. There isn't one thing on the basketball floor I look at Harrison Barnes and I say, he just can't do that. He doesn't have that in his bag. He can shoot, he can dribble. I guess pass would be the one thing. He's not really a big, it doesn't get a lot of assists and, not really somebody that you're looking to create his own shot, but he can shoot, he can pass. He's got a decent size on him. He's got a good body. He can, he's got finishing moves. He likes to get to the free throw line. He's good at getting to the free throw line. He can really do a little bit of everything. It's just, that's what makes it so frustrating on nights where it's just like,
sometimes he doesn't do enough of anything.
Exactly. It's like I would
you
much
do
rather,
everything. Sometimes there's not enough of anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's master of all, or what is it? No, jack of all, master of none.
Yeah. You had some interesting numbers for us on a particular Warrior whose field goal discrepancy between Golden State wins and losses is very telling. Now,
Yes.
Andrew Wiggins in a limited sample size would be that guy, but if you go beyond that, who do we have here?
We have Klay
Thompson. Not
Mr.
Stephen
Klay
Curry?
Thompson. Not Stephen Curry. Klay Thompson had the largest field goal percentage discrepancy between Golden State wins and losses this season. In wins, Klay averaged 24.8 points per game on 48% from the field, 45% from the three-point line, 85% from the free throw line. In losses, Klay averaged 18 points per game, so about help me, quick math, 6-point difference, 37% from the field, 35% from three. So almost a 10 percentage point drop from Klay from three in wins and losses. When Klay scores more than 25 points, Golden State went 17-6. When Klay scored fewer than 15, Golden State went 4-14.
Couple of things there.
A lot.
When Klay scores a lot, it's not just necessarily Klay going off. His best shots come as a result of the offense clicking.
Yes, absolutely.
And when he's making them, that means, it doesn't mean like, wow, Klay, it means Klay's shooting well, but it means the offense is functioning at a high level.
Right.
And then when he struggled, he had some terrible games this year where they had to have a sit down with him after a loss to Phoenix, where they had to tell him, you're hunting your shots too much. Klay, when he came back this year, he went through a self-confidence thing and he was forcing shots. He was taking more shots than ever. He was really struggling with trying to get back to being Klay.
Yeah.
So that is part of those bad numbers. And it seems like he's figured that out.
Yeah.
And it just speaks to, again, the fact that, I know we keep saying this, the Warriors now are just a different team than the team that put up some of those underwhelming numbers earlier in the year.
Yeah, I think a big part of Klay, like you were talking about, him trying to find himself was, I think
it was bad.
Yeah, it was really, his shot selection was terrible. I mean, I think his field goal percentage and 3-point percentage were almost mirrored identical. So he was completely searching, and I think it was a part of it was his body is finally starting to feel a lot more like the Klay Thompson of old. And I think it was just him trying to go out on the floor and prove it a little bit too much. And like you're saying, Klay, when he's really at his best, is, no pun intended, he's like a Claymore, where he's just posted up. You almost forget about him because Steph Curry's running around, Jordan Poole's got the ball in his hand doing his thing, and Klay is just sitting there waiting to explode. And that's when he's at his best. And I think you're completely right that it's a product of Golden State's offense really clicking when Klay is in that Claymore mode.
Yeah, Klay will probably be efficient, maybe not. But again, I think the guy that the Kings can focus on is Poole, who's a hidden key to this thing. You know, Monk and Poole are real keys.
Yeah.
And if Jordan Poole, if he's not an efficient, effective Poole, it's a huge edge for the Kings.
Right. I think we were talking about that yesterday, where if it does feel like just with the bad stuff, not even necessarily with the good stuff that we've seen them bring, but if they find some inconsistency, if Jordan Poole has a performance like he did on Friday, last Friday, it opens that door. Absolutely. And
door to upset city.
You can't, especially against the Sacramento Kings offense. You know, it's an offense that, you know, they have tons of supplemental pieces. If Malik Monk doesn't have a good game, maybe Terrence Davis can come in and give 15 points. Golden State doesn't really have that luxury of, if Jordan Poole isn't getting his points, there's not somebody ready-made to just take that production away from him.
Mike Brown doesn't trust Terrence Davis defensively, does he?
No, he just doesn't.
He understands his value, but he just doesn't want him out there.
He's too inconsistent.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the effort is usually there, but sometimes mentally he'll have huge lapses, and especially in the postseason, you just can't have that.
Coming up, we answer the age-old question, is this a rivalry? Well, the answer is yes, but with some conditions. We'll dive into those next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's Cattles and Rami.
You're on Sactown Sports 1140 on this Monday.
Hi, everybody.
You're going to rage against the machine.
75 degrees and sunny.
It's a nice day out there, isn't it?
50 in the afternoon.
My goodness.
Here's some rage against the machine for you.
The thing is, you know those people exist.
100%.
And have sounded like that for decades.
And have made a lot of money doing it.
More money than you and I have.
Yes.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
During Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, 5 bags of Scott's Earth Grow mulch are on special buy for just $10. Planting a garden, mulch helps soil retain moisture. Sprucing up your walkway, mulch can help prevent weeds from creeping in. Potting some flowers for your porch, liven up your planters with an accent of year-long color with red, brown, or black mulch. Hurry into the Home Depot to get Scott's Earth Grow mulch. Now 5 bags for just $10. Offer valid in store only April 13th through 23rd. Color selection varies by store. Limit 60 bags per customer while supplies last.
Are you an experienced AC and heating service technician or looking to be one? Would you like the potential to make more than $100,000 a year? That's right. I said $100,000. And on top of that, if you have the right experience and skills, you could qualify for a sign-on bonus. I'm talking about Bell Brothers, the most trusted name in heating and air conditioning in Sacramento. They need experienced air conditioning service techs right now. They already keep 127 techs busy, but business is booming. The pay is great. The benefits are amazing, and you will always have work all year round. At Bell Brothers, there's no such thing as a slow season. The team wants to meet you. This is no joke. If you're ready to make the best career move of your life, go online to book a confidential interview at theNoSurpriseGuys.com or attend our hiring event this Saturday at 8 a.m. sharp. Your life is about to get a whole lot better. It can't hurt to explore your options. Go to theNoSurpriseGuys.com to get the ball rolling.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Gah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
First round playoff coverage on Sactown Sports is brought to you by National Garage Door. Find out more at nationalgaragedoor.com. This is the Sactown Sports playoff push. Kevin Michael, Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins. On the YouTube chat, somebody, Mikey, wants to know if Fitz is going to join us tomorrow. I think Fitz, I contacted him yesterday. He says next week. He's a little tied up right now, so hopefully we'll have Fitz next week. We will have the great Jerry Reynolds should be joining us tomorrow.
Yes.
If that's okay with you, Chris.
That is more than okay with me. I've never actually spoken with Jerry. I know you guys do a podcast every week, but that'll be a nice honor for me because
so excited. I mean, he genuinely just loves the Kings.
Yeah, right. I mean, he is somebody who's been a staple here. As I was doing research for the Gary St. Jean interview we did, I kind of, you naturally
go. Fellas.
Saint was great, by the way.
He's tremendous.
We will absolutely have to have him on at some point during this push, but it'll be really cool to speak with G-Man, obviously, just because he has ties here pretty much to the beginning of them being in Sacramento. So
he's not the G-Man.
He is not
Gary
the
Gerald.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
JR.
Yes, JR. Yeah. He's had ties here for forever. So he is absolutely.
Did you see what they did when he was at the game a couple weeks ago, the Spurs game?
No, I didn't.
Okay, he went to the game with a friend.
I saw he was there. Yeah.
And he was just a friend said, "Hey, why don't you come to the game?" And Jerry says, "As long as it's an afternoon game, because I'm going to bed." So they go to the game, and he wasn't expecting anything. And they had an announcement, and he stood up, and they gave him a bunch of stuff, and everyone cheered, and he was really happy and excited about it. He didn't expect it, and then Pop came down the sideline and waved to him because they were playing the Spurs. So he's and he deserves that, but he's the type of guy that I didn't expect anything.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't expect to be singled out like that, no matter how legendary you are. But yeah, that's incredible. That's an incredible story. I would be a little fangirl at that point. Be like, waved at me.
As far as the rivalry, people have been around a long time know that way back when the Kings first moved here, they had something called, and I think we talked about this earlier this week, the Mayor's Cup, because they were trying to gin up this rivalry. And it was, I think, Mayor Ann Rudin of Sacramento and Mayor Lionel Wilson of Oakland, because the Warriors were in Oakland. And they had the Mayor's Cup. And every year, the team that won the season series got the Mayor's Cup. Did it have any impact? Well, I'll just tell you this. Jerry Reynolds, who's been here since the Kings got here, a couple weeks ago, I asked him about that. He said, I have no recollection of that at all.
That's insane. It's like the didn't they try and do a similar thing for the A's Giants as well, like a Bay Bridge trophy?
They have and that they show on TV anyway, and that's made out of the old Bay Bridge, which is kind of cool. I don't think people get too excited about that, but they know what it is. Right. Whereas the Mayor's Cup,
no one is
like, did they do that? I don't know. So I know Mike Brown said some things about the rivalry yesterday.
Yes.
Here's what Mike Brown said about is this a rivalry? Is it going to be one? Where are we, Coach?
I'm not sure if it's a rivalry yet, but if it can end up being that, then fantastic. I think rivalries are great in any competition out there. It adds extra juice to the whole environment or atmosphere whenever two teams play each other. So I'm all for it. I wouldn't say it's quite there yet, but if it does get there, it'd be awesome.
See, to me, it's easy. To me, it's definitely a rivalry, but it's kind of you remember history lessons, the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the USA. We were kind of at war, but not directly. It was a Cold War. And to me, that we've had kind of a cold rivalry between Sacramento and the Bay Area for a long time.
Right.
About a lot of things, culturally and economically, of course. And the basketball teams have been part of that. It's just been there under the surface. Now it's warming up. So
missiles have been fired. Missiles have definitely been fired.
To be, So I understand people say, and Coach wants to downplay it because he doesn't want to make it sound like, well, we're rivals with them because he's saying we haven't done anything yet.
Right.
But to me, it's definitely been a rivalry. It's always been one. It's just now finally we're heating it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're waking it up.
Yeah, it does feel like people seem to have this notion that in order for it to be a rivalry, it has to be competitive and both sides have to be a part of it. That's not necessarily true. I think that it can just be, rivalries are just kind of more about proximity, right? They absolutely can be because of, facing each other, like Lakers Celtics. That has obviously no geographic connection, but the fact that they've had so many classic battles together puts them head to head, and now they are rivals. Golden State Sacramento it's absolutely a rival. I went to high school here in Sacramento. I went to Christian Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know who our biggest rivals are? Jesuit High School. You know who never beats Jesuit High School? Christian Brothers. We still consider it a rivalry. It might be more one-sided, but it's still a rivalry nonetheless.
Yeah, it's like the Warriors and the Lakers, the Kings and the Lakers. Kings didn't have much success against the Lakers in those playoff series, but it was still definitely a rivalry. Everyone knew
Absolutely, right? Yeah. Exactly. That's another perfect example. Lakers. I can't tell you we didn't beat the Lakers in a single series, but you can't tell me that wasn't a rivalry. And you can't, as much as the Lakers trying to downplay the Kings during that time, they absolutely viewed the Kings as their real only serious contender. And so there's no way that they didn't view them as rivals as well, no matter what they try and say.
So here's our YouTube chat poll today.
Yes,
Kings and Warriors are rivals. Absolutely. Is at 33% now.
Okay.
Close, but not yet. 47%.
Sure.
No, beat LA is at 20%. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing though, too. Can't you have multiple?
It's gonna change. It's gonna evolve. It's gonna heat up. And I know the proper thing from the Kings standpoint is probably to say, well, not yet until you beat them, but it's definitely a rivalry.
It's definitely a rivalry. There's definitely some animosity, at least from the Sacramento side of things. There's for sure, if you seeing Warrior fans walking about Golden One Center doesn't make me feel great. It doesn't, it definitely gives me a lot more frustration than if I were to see a Milwaukee Bucks fan wearing a Giannis jersey or something. There's definitely absolutely something there that you can't deny. And especially, with the proximity thing. And I've mentioned before, there's so many Golden State fans locally here in Sacramento. It's absolutely a rivalry. That people deal with it on a daily basis in offices, in classes, and so many more areas of life. It's absolutely a rivalry.
One-sided in a way. I'm sure if you ask the Warriors and their fans, list your rivals, the Kings are not going to come up.
Right.
If they do, they're going to be down the list, and it's up to the Kings to change that in this series. They've got their chance to get the attention of the other team.
So then, in your opinion, is it still a rivalry even if it's one-sided? Because your point there, Golden State probably doesn't view Sacramento, or they're pretty deep down the list of their rivals.
I've found that that's often a big part of a rivalry. I think right now the Warriors and Memphis have a rivalry.
Absolutely.
When you ask the Warriors, they'll say they're not our rivals.
Interesting.
But it's a heated rivalry.
So then who would Golden State consider their Cleveland, probably, right?
It used to be Cleveland, but it's changed
not
so
to say
much.
Houston during their time.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors have been so good for so long, and the rest of the league has changed so
Can't
much.
count them because they've been good for so long.
I mean, is it the Lakers? I don't know. Boston, maybe a rivalry brews there.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting thing. And it's like, as I said earlier, the Kings and the Lakers would have said, they're not our rivals. They never beat us. But you're going to tell me that wasn't a rivalry?
No, you can't. You buried them. That's absolutely. You're not just going to bury. You're not going to bury nobody. You're not going to bury your friend.
Yeah.
I would. Well, actually, you would bury your friend, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully, I won't have to do that for a while. Not going to bury the Warriors, though, right? I guess that
we might.
I
have
to. Told Dave I wouldn't.
I don't know. I might have to overrule that one.
We'll see what Chris Biederman thinks of all that and more. We'll find out what this season's previous results say about what could happen starting Saturday. Chris Biederman from the B joins us next. Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Sactown Sports.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The five-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Family-owned Clark & Rush, celebrating 60 years of serving Sacramento. It's time to convert your gas water heater and furnace to electric. Just turn to the experts at Clark & Rush and Carrier. We electrify more homes than any other contractor in Sacramento. Plus, we'll help you get up to $6,500 in utility rebates. We'll even do the paperwork. Call or visit clark-rush.com.
Smart energy savings is what we do. Clark & Rush.
Call 916-245-2829.
Strixon and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From all sets of irons to metalwoods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks garage sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
The clock is ticking. Get off the bench and head down to Fastener's Tool Outlet, where you'll find the lowest prices on DeWalt power tools and much more. Why pay more at a big box store? Get a triple-double at Fastener's Tool Outlet with weekly and monthly specials, including up to 50% off select hand tools, accessories, power tools, and fasteners. Whether you're looking for a DeWalt bag, a DeWalt impact driver, or the newest DeWalt tools at the lowest prices, Fastener's Tool Outlet has the tools you need to do the job. Make a slam dunk with Fastener's Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road, or on the web at fastenersinc.net.
When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com. Guys,
your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KHTK AMHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Sacramento Kings.
It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. No NBA today. The Bulls yesterday eliminated the Raptors with a 109-105 road win. Tomorrow they will face the Miami Heat for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder also got a play-in road win. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans 123-118. The Thunder will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves for the 8th seed in the West. The Oakland A's broke a 6-game losing streak with an 8-4 win over the Orioles. A's will try to win their first series of the season today. The A's and Orioles are currently tied 4-4 in the bottom of the third. All 4 runs from the A's have been batted in by left fielder Brent Rooker, who had a sac fly in the first and a 3-run homer in the third. Sacramento Bee senior sports reporter Chris Biederman, he joins us now right here with Whitey and Watkins.
Is this a rivalry between the Kings and the Warriors? I say, of course it is. On our YouTube poll, absolutely at only 34%, close but not yet 45%. No, beat LA, lagging at 21%. Whether it is or not, hopefully a couple games into this thing, there'll be no question that we got a rivalry on our hands.
I think so. I think once this thing gets going, the fans are going to feel it. We talked yesterday about Draymond Green. He's going to get under some Kings fan skin. If the Kings can win a couple games, maybe they start to, upset some Warrior fans. It'll be exciting.
You're with us here on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Kevin Michael, Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins. Thrilled to have you with us and thrilled to have our next guest on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Outstanding beat writer for the Sacramento Kings, Chris Biederman. How are you today, Chris?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're very good. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Let me just ask you, I know it's a little kind of a cliche thing, but everybody's talking about it today. Where are you, sir, in terms of whether this is a rivalry or not? To me, it's like a cold rivalry. It's always it's kind of dormant, and now it's going to heat up.
Yeah, I think what in this very moment, Thursday at 11 a.m., it's probably less of a rivalry than it will be after the series goes on. That's what makes rivalries, right? Is having series, playing against each other in high stakes moments. Crowds being in the same building, whether it's Warriors fans in Golden One or Kings fans going over to Chase. I think there's going to be a good mix of both in both venues. I think, based on if you're on Twitter, you're seeing a lot of discussion, I would say, and I think that lends itself to being a rivalry, or at least creating a rivalry. So I think, it has to your point, Whitey. I think it's kind of been a cold rivalry because these are both Northern California teams with both, histories in their own right, albeit at different times. And this is obviously the first time both teams have made the postseason at the same time. So that's how rivalries are really born, right? It's when you square off in the playoffs, when the stakes are really high, when emotions are really high, and when you basically extend your season or end your season against your foe. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to ramp up a few notches after the series, no matter how it turns out, and I would expect it to be a pretty healthy rivalry going forward because I don't think either of these teams are going anywhere anytime soon, barring something catastrophic and unforeseen.
Right. Me and Whitey were talking the other day about this. Chris, who do you think, which player in this series do you think has the most to prove?
I think it's Davion Mitchell from the Kings' perspective.
Interesting.
Because, look, you look at the Kings' starting lineup, I don't know what options they really have to credibly guard Steph Curry, right? Like we saw Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year, on the best defense in the NBA last season, really struggle to do much of anything against Steph Curry.
Right.
And it's not like the Kings have somebody in their starting lineup who you would consider a defender on that level. And so their best option really to guard Steph is going to be Davion, but he's a 32% 3-point shooter. And I would imagine, like the Warriors did in that Friday game, they're going to let him shoot from 3 and give him open looks and crowd other players on that end. And if Davion Mitchell hits some threes, then that could drastically change the calculus of how the Warriors approach things, while Davion also plays credible defense on Steph Curry. So I think he's probably the wild card, in my opinion, for the Kings, because, if he hits 3 or 4 threes, that could really swing one of these games. But if he's cold from long range and sort of unplayable, or at least it feels like the Warriors are playing 5-on-4 defensively, then that's going to make it really hard for the Kings to win games. So I think Davion Mitchell is the big wild card. He's a 32% 3-point shooter. I think he can have a huge say on how this series goes, because if he hits threes and also plays defense on Curry, then I think the Kings have a much better shot. If he's not hitting threes, then he's not going to be in the game as much as maybe the Kings would need him just to defend Steph. And then that tilts in the Warriors' favor pretty substantially, in my opinion.
The great Chris Biederman, our guest today. To that point, Chris, how you hope to slow down Curry, I think we have the answer. It's a box and one with Fox as the one, which would be, of course, the Fox and one. And I'm telling you, we're going to see it. And remember, you heard it here first. But all kidding aside, Nick Nurse had a lot of success, or some success, with a janky defenses against Steph in the 2019 finals. How creative do you think we can expect Coach Brown to get when it comes to efforts to at least slow down number 30?
Yeah, I think if anybody can devise a plan or multiple plans to try to slow down Steph, it's probably Mike Brown. Not only because he is a defensive-minded coach who's coached, quality defenses in the NBA basically throughout his career, but he knows the Warriors personnel as well as anybody. And so that is an advantage. I would imagine a lot of trapping Steph, at 30 feet away from the hoop and forcing the ball out of his hands. I will say, in that 2019 series, the Warriors were missing Kevin Durant, and they were, Klay Thompson left in game 6. It became a lot easier to play box and one with those guys out. But that being said, we don't know what Andrew Wiggins is going to look like, right? Even before he left, he wasn't playing particularly well, and he was dealing with the groin injury. So Wiggins is another wild card. If Wiggins comes back and plays like he did in the playoffs last year, that's a huge, huge thing for the Warriors, because he was probably their second best player. If not, then I think the Warriors become a little bit easier to defend, obviously. But, the one thing I would say about, trapping Curry or even playing box and one, when you look at the Kings defense, their weak side defense and their help defense was a big issue throughout the season. And the Warriors are really good at, playing 3-on-4 or 4-on-3 and getting downhill and having Draymond Green be the distributor and having guys cutting to the rim or guys spotting up at the 3-point line. So, it's kind of a pick your poison thing with them. There's been little evidence from the Kings this season that they can play a trapping style defense and still hold up on the back end. So that's going to be a big challenge. And, in terms of De'Aaron Fox, he's athletic enough, he's long enough. But do you want him running around with Steph Curry all day when you're going to have to rely on him in the fourth quarter to score for you? Do you want to wear him out on that end, or just are you going to run that way and test his energy levels against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, potentially, two guys who move off the ball as well as anybody in the league. So that's a big challenge. That's a big question mark. But yeah, the boxing one could work. Or at least slow things down and make the Warriors have to think for a little bit. But we've seen the Warriors adjust to different schemes defensively as series have gone on before. But if there's anybody who can come up with something or multiple ideas, I do think it's Mike Brown, and I do think the Kings might have an advantage from that standpoint.
That's a good point. I mean, we don't want Fox expending that much energy, but the Fox and one is just such a good name. So
it is. Shout out to you. That's good.
All that matters. Chris, I heard you ask Coach Brown yesterday at practice about the physicality of the playoffs. How do you think that this team will respond to being in the playoffs for the first time and in dealing with the kind of physicality that comes with postseason basketball?
That's really sort of the biggest question for me going into this series and just the playoffs in general, no matter who the Kings would have played, because that was what Mike Brown cited really after every loss. It was, we lacked physicality.
Yep.
We didn't get into guys' chests.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make them uncomfortable early in games. The Kings so often would just sort of cruise into games and fall behind by double digits in the first quarter, sort of unnecessarily, because they wouldn't force opposing teams to play with any discomfort, right? So I think that's been a huge emphasis. And honestly, it's a big question mark because, like the Kings have never been in this position before.
Right.
And they have been a top 10 from an efficiency standpoint road defense throughout the regular season. But does that portend to the playoffs when the playoff intensity is up from the other team's perspective, right? Like, what's that going to look like? They don't have a particularly physical roster, I would say, outside of Domantas Sabonis and Harrison Barnes and Davion Mitchell and Kessler Edwards. There's not a ton of physicality just in terms of the way the Kings roster is constructed. So it's going to be a big test. I think they will play better defense than they did in the regular season. It would be really difficult not to, but but it's going to be fascinating to see. Ultimately, like, I wish I had a better answer for you, but I guess we got to see how it plays out as the season goes on, or as the series goes on, because that to me is the biggest question. Can they match the playoff level physicality and intensity that it takes? Because we know the Warriors can.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you this, but for outstanding Kings coverage, check out Chris Biederman in the Sacramento Bee. Chris, thanks so much. We appreciate it. This is going to be fun. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Please.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Woo! That's maybe it's not a great answer, but it's the right answer to a lot of these questions. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate thing, and it's not a very good, if you and I can't just say for the next 4 hours, we'll wait.
That's like
see.
Mike Singletary. I got to look at the film.
Yeah, that's a big loophole thing. Got to watch the film. But no, Chris is completely right. I mean, to me, it's a huge question because they've never done it, and they've been all season long. They just haven't matched teams' physicality, and Chris is completely right. The only people who have shown much physicality are Sabonis. That's the defensive guys. Sabonis, Barnes a little, Davion for sure, and Kessler Edwards.
It has never happened before, but it happened twice last night. Can you believe that? That's next on The Push. Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third, your score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Appreciate your participation on YouTube. And is this a rivalry? Our poll question. Close but not yet. Still leading 46% to 26%. Absolutely a 26%. It's absolutely a rivalry. It's just kind of a little bit dormant.
Like you said, I love what you said. It's a cold rivalry.
Yes.
And it's definitely, it works too, because it is starting to heat up. It's definitely starting to heat up. And this is like Chris said it right at the start. It's this rivalry. It's a lot less of a rivalry now than what it will be next week, because there's definitely, you cannot tell me that something isn't going to happen in this series that'll get those emotions boiling.
I would say over the past few years, it hasn't really been a rivalry from Sacramento's point, more of a jealousy.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that it's like the brother that's doing really well.
Yeah.
And everything's kind of like getting down on you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. For many years in the Kings' leanest years, they were just almost, in the eyes of many, they just didn't matter. It wasn't even, they're bad. It's like, ooh, they're not, they're nothing.
Well, and that was the problem with them being so catastrophically terrible was like you're saying, it's not even a matter of people tuned out. They straight up were just like, I don't care. Like, call me when they're good. And that's why we now see ticket prices the way they are, because those people did eventually wake up. But yeah, it's there was a lot of years that the Kings just didn't give people any hope. And that's where again, I think that seeps into the rivalry as well, because like I talked about, there's so many people during that phase, young and old, I would say equal, that turn to the Warriors fans during that time. You can't be historically terrible, 16 years, longest playoff drought they've seen in the NBA, and then have your crosstown, not rivals, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say rivals, crosstown other team be the greatest team of the generation. I mean, naturally, there's going to be, you're going to have a lot of people switching over, and that's absolutely what did.
I think for this thing to heat up, obviously, the Kings are going to have to play well. If they win, that's one thing, but if they don't win, they have to play well. I go back to 2000, when the Kings had just been in the playoffs. 99, they lost to Utah. And then in 2000, they played the Lakers. And I didn't care for them, but that was a great Laker team. And the Lakers beat them in the first round, but the Kings took them to 5. You know, they played well. They put some pressure on them.
Yeah. And those were like, that would be almost if the Kings would have played the Golden State like 2 or 3 years ago, right? Because that was when the Lakers, I mean, they were kind of just starting to get into their championship ride. And so hopefully we can make it more than 5, because if 5 games, it's
well, 5 then it was a best of 5, but yeah, you're right.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a very important caveat. Okay, there you go. I'll take a 7-game series. I will absolutely take a 7-game Kings Warriors series, and if the Kings don't win that one, I can absolutely still feel good about the season we had and about that series.
It's just that people, Warrior fans are going to always say that's not a rivalry. But we'll know if it is, depending on how things go and how the Kings play starting Saturday.
It just is. I'm sorry. You can deny it all you want, but
and crazy things can happen. For example, not that the Kings beating the Warriors would be crazy. It would be unexpected, although you may expect it, but for a lot of people would be surprised. They are the 3 seed. Yeah, that's true. But unusual things can happen. For example, last night in the association, we had 2 number 10 seeds beat the number 9 seeds. That happened twice. It had never happened before in the brief, 4 or 5 year history of the play-in. But it had never happened. It happened twice last night with the Bulls taking down the Raptors in Toronto and the young, up-and-coming OKC Thunder taking down the Pels 123-118.
Incredible. What a night. What a night in the association, though. And do you feel like, I think we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but do you feel like these will be memorable games? I mean, you had to remind me the other day of Golden State Lakers, and that was a very big game. And I remember Golden State
2 years ago,
Memphis as well in the playing game. Do you feel like, maybe, the point I brought up earlier is that you watch the games for sure, but will you remember them?
Probably not, unless one of these teams that's in the play-in ever wins a title.
Right, I guess. And then it's part of the journey, right? And that would be an incredible story.
It was interesting. The vastly superior of the Van Gundys, Jeff Van Gundy last night.
Is there a reason why you say that? Did one of them come on your show once and just blow you off?
Stan's okay, but Stan's he sits there like this, and I know he knows what he's talking about, and he's trying so hard to be, I know so much about basketball. And Jeff's like, dude, what's up?
Yeah, Jeff definitely shows up unprepped and is just all vibes.
I love them both because they're both from, I think, Martinez.
Really?
Yes.
Semi-local. Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think there's kind of there's a NorCal bias there.
Yeah.
They do a good job of covering it. Of course, they've been all over the place.
Yeah.
But there's also, the story of Stan Van Gundy and the Kinkos?
Yes, right.
So
the facts. Right. Yeah. That's true. That is true.
Uh-huh.
I forgot
just
about
think
that
Jeff
part.
is more natural on the air. I like them both, but to me...
No, there is definitely one that is more natural for television. I just like Stan Van Gundy, the meme of... There was like a great picture of him when he was coaching the Pistons, and they did like a bike day, and there's like an album cover of Stan Van Gundy with like his hat sideways. Great one. And then there's a video of the least... I would never expect Stan Van Gundy to have real legitimate handles. There's a like short little video of Stan Van Gundy like going between his legs and like behind his back. And I was like, I've never really assumed that, because Stan's he looks like he's 5'6", and 260 pounds or something. And I just didn't expect him to have that kind of ball skill, but I guess it makes sense
They
being
both love the game.
head
They
basketball
both,
coach. Right.
In their driveway, they had some battles,
I'm sure. Oh,
and I'll
sure.
bet you Jeff kicked his ass every time. Jeff owns Stan.
Have you ever seen them in person? How tall are they? Because I view both of them as like
big.
under 5,
but I'm not sure.
5'9".
You know, I had this thing going back a few years where I watched games and I'd see the coaches. You know, you don't realize a lot of these coaches played in there.
Right, exactly.
I look at the
huge,
coaches and try to pick ones out that I think
I could take them.
I could beat that guy. And one guy I picked out, I should say, he's coaching the Hawks and then he's coaching now the Bucks. I thought Budenholzer.
Oh yeah,
I'll take him.
Yeah, for sure.
You look it up, and he was like a great college player, and he played in Iceland professionally or something.
What?
And you realize, okay, I got no chance.
There's no. I mean, even like Quinn Snyder, right?
Really play.
Didn't Quinn Snyder go to Duke? I think he played at Duke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that guy, like the evil villain, like you're telling me he's got a smooth jumper? There's no way.
They don't
to
look
answer
like
your
it,
question, Chris, Stan Van Gundy is 5'8".
Yep.
Jeff Van Gundy, 5'9".
Listed at 5'8", 5'9".
So Jeff would score in the driveway, then he'd give it too small. To his brother, Stan. Yeah. I guarantee you. I know Jeff was just on the afternoon show. I have to get him on.
Yeah.
Guarantee you he beat Stan.
Oh, for sure. I think so. Well, I don't. Yeah, I wonder if Stan maybe had a slimmer era of himself, because I'm sure if he was that big back then, I'm sure he just backed him down. And Jeff doesn't seem like he would take well to physicality.
Yeah.
Though I don't know. Didn't Jeff also? He's notorious. Didn't he jump on a player's leg trying to break up a fight?
YouTube says Jeff Van Gundy for the single leg takedown.
Yes.
Alonzo Mourning.
That's who it was. Alonzo Mourning.
He's hanging on.
Just
for
hanging on for
dear
dear
life.
life. Just getting dragged.
Yeah.
Down the court.
Anyway, the reason I brought up
right. Yeah. Anyway.
I could talk about the Van Gundys all day.
No,
I don't know why, but I could.
it.
But he was saying, look, why doesn't the league want the play-in to be a thing? And I know Mike Breen was saying he's like, John Moran has a record for the most points in a play-in.
Sure.
But it's not really a record because they don't keep it. And Jeff's like, why not? Why don't they?
Yeah, they should. Right.
Yeah.
I can go. Let me see. I'm on Basketball Reference right now.
It's not the playoffs.
There's nothing.
It's not the regular season.
There's nothing here for play-in stats. So not even like, I wonder if I were to go to NBA.com, like, is there anywhere you can access? I've never even thought of that.
I think the league has a thing about, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
I guess because it's not the playoffs.
Yeah.
I guess they don't want to water down the playoffs any further to get to the point where people say, well, if you're in the play-in, you're in the playoffs, because you're not. But anyway, I don't think it's fun at the time, but then it gets dwarfed by the enormity of the playoffs. So I don't think they're going to be very memorable, but that's okay.
Yeah. And it's also, I feel like we forget that these are teams that are pretty much sacrificial lambs. I mean, they're going in to essentially probably more than likely get.
You're right, but I wonder if this year that's going to be true. Yeah, I was very true. That too. No, you're absolutely right.
Typically,
but this year I wonder.
Yeah, this year it does feel. I mean, you were telling me before that the Athletic, that when they did their coach GM survey, that they have two experts, quote unquote experts, picking the Lakers in that series as well.
They asked anonymous coach, anonymous scout, anonymous executive, and all these series are 6 series. And they all agree on everything except for the Lakers series. One guy picks the Lakers. Yeah. So that's a play-in team against a 2.
Play-in team against a 2 seed. That, and like you said, that would probably make us maybe pay attention a little in terms of memory wise. That would probably get us to pay attention more to the play-in, as if somehow a play-in team does make a miraculous run. And I'm sure it'll happen at some point, right? A team in a situation much probably like Golden State, where it's like, maybe one or two of your stars miss a big handful of games and you can kind of scrape by and get into that 9-10 seed. And then Steph Curry, Klay Thompson come back and they could take you all the way. I can see maybe that being a situation where it's more memorable, but
to your
it'll
point,
happen at some point.
Chris, Chicago is playing pretty well lately. And I think they have the 3rd best differential since the All-Star break. That was a big road win for them last night.
Yep.
But, I start to get carried away a little bit with, hey, they look good. Billy Donovan's got them playing good defense. But they're going to play the Bucks.
It's going to be over. It's going to be 4.
Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah, your buddy Mike will have, he might have time to ball up because, it's not going to take much effort and that's kind of, I was asking Rami about it yesterday. There's a little Chicago-Milwaukee rivalry there as well.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess. I don't think
I don't think
Bulls are in position to do much about it.
Right.
But unless DeMar's daughter, unless, they got to win, they got to beat the Heat, but then they got to get DeMar's daughter at the
DeMar, I hear it. The less I like it.
Can you?
Nah,
I used to call him missed the jump shot, but then he got really good, and I had to stop saying that.
Yeah,
Can you imagine Giannis, as much as he struggles with free throws and he takes so long, and then DeRozan's daughter
just screaming for the whole 15-second free throw. It's too long of a free throw.
That would be a nightmare.
That's a dream matchup. What are you talking about?
But it may be the Bulls' only chance to do anything if they get.
It's an unstoppable force against an immovable object. Giannis free throws against DeMar DeRozan's daughter.
Yeah. Bottom line, the play-in not over yet. But so far, man, it's for what it is. Whatever it is,
been entertaining.
It's been great.
It's been entertaining for sure. With the exception of maybe that the end of that Laker game, which still had its theatrics to it, but wasn't the greatest. The greatest watch. But it's been entertaining, and they've had the stars there, which has definitely helped as well. But yeah, it's part of the NBA being so deep now, though, too, is that we still get to see a 9-10 matchup with, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. And then on the other side, you get DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, you get the rookie of the year last year, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, all these guys. So huge on the NBA, and it's been, I've enjoyed the play-in.
Yeah,
didn't expect to.
We could have a sub poll on which is the superior Van Gundy, but Stan would get crushed in Sacramento. People remember the Kinkos.
Yeah, people do remember the Kinkos.
Disaster.
That's very true. It's
Jeff Petrie remembers it.
It's a bad story. Very bad look for JVN.
Up
or
next,
SVN.
SVN. Yeah, JVN's a good one. JVG.
I'm sorry, JVG.
Yeah. Where's good news on Wiggins is even worse than it looks for the Kings. Oh, that'll be fun next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
I'm Jenny, Senior Designer for Cleo & Wolf, and this is Behind the Designs with Boot Barn. Cleo & Wolf is a vintage-inspired, effortless collection with a country sensibility. Each design is thought out and crafted so that it becomes a special staple in her wardrobe. Even if it's just an article of clothing, there's so much meaning to that. In her most authentic, natural state is where her beauty and her confidence lives. Cleo & Wolf, only at Boot Barn.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop garage sale of nearly new showroom clubs is on right now. With discounts up to 75%, you'll find full sets of irons, metalwoods, wedges, and more at the Hagen Oaks garage sale featuring $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory. This kind of opportunity is rare and available right now. Visit the Hagen Oaks garage sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, Bill Eats RV, and Naughty Wood Barbecue.
The clock is ticking. Get off the bench and head down to Fasteners Tool Outlet, where you'll find the lowest prices on Milwaukee power tools and much more. Why pay more at a big box store? Get a triple-double at Fasteners Tool Outlet with weekly and monthly specials, including up to 50% off select hand tools, batteries, power tools, and fasteners. Whether you're looking for a new pack-out box, woodworking equipment, or a Milwaukee impact driver, Fasteners Tool Outlet has the tools you need to do the job. Make a slam dunk with Fasteners Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road, or on the web at fastenersinc.net.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Family-owned Clark & Rush, celebrating 60 years of serving Sacramento. It's time to convert your gas water heater and furnace to electric. Just turn to the experts at Clark & Rush and Carrier. We electrify more homes than any other contractor in Sacramento. Plus, we'll help you get up to $6,500 in utility rebates. We'll even do the paperwork. Call or visit clark-rush.com.
Smart energy savings is what we do. Clark and Rush.
Call 916-245-2829.
Make your New Year's resolutions yet? Let me help. Trade out of that old car and into something safe and reliable, like a new Folsom Lake Kia with a low payment. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotta with your Sactown Sports headlines. No NBA today. Yesterday, the Bulls eliminated the Raptors with a 109-105 road win. Tomorrow, they will face the Miami Heat for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder also got a play-in road win. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans 123-118. The Thunder will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Oakland A's broke a 6-game losing streak yesterday with an 8-4 win over the Orioles. The A's will try and win their first series of the season today. Currently, they are trailing the Orioles 6-7 in the bottom of the fourth. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Been fun today. Appreciate the feedback. Thanks for being with us. Chris, appreciate being with you today. You've kind of relaxed me a little bit and eased my jangled nerves because I saw today before the show started for the first time the picture of the alligator in the freaking American River.
Oh, that's a spoiler alert.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I am very nervous about that.
Story time with
Storytime
Laud returns today, and I
Laud.
guess we know what it's going to be about.
We know one.
Yeah. Thank you, because I won't spoil anything. I don't know where you're going with it, Chris, but when I saw it, I said, "Oh my goodness, a 17-foot alligator!" And Chris Watkins said, "Hey, chill, bro. It's a 7-foot alligator. Still a big.
It's only 7. Don't worry. I mean, I said 17. We would probably have to call somebody a lot. I don't know who they call. Who do you even? Maybe we'll find out in story time. But who do you call if you're just chilling by the lake or by the river and you see an alligator? Is that
anybody?
Is that animal control? Is that the police department? Is that
a lot of people?
Yeah, call my mom.
Wasn't there
I don't know.
17-foot alligator? There was a movie, I think it was called Lake Placid, and Betty White was in it, and it was a horror film about a massive alligator.
I love that movie.
Is that? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it
Actually,
called?
it might have been a crocodile.
Oh,
okay,
sorry. Please
Yeah.
get it
Lake
correct.
Placid with Betty
Lake
White.
Placid with Betty White.
Yeah.
Wasn't a comedy. It was a straight up horror film.
Kind of funny.
Kind of a tongue-in-cheek.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would hope
but,
so.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big movie guy, so I'm.
Are you going to go see
way over
the
my head.
Pope's Exorcist? I'm trying to
That
watch
has
the
my
NBA.
interest.
Like,
Has my interest. Russell Crowe, very interesting decision for his career to go with the Pope's Exorcist. Wasn't expecting Russell Crowe to play a Pope. I don't know if he's playing the Pope or if he's just.
I think he's the Pope's exorcist.
He's the Pope's
I don't know
exorcist,
who the Pope
right?
is.
Yeah. He is.
He's the exorcist for the Pope.
Yeah. the Pope's
Yeah. There you
exorcist.
go. Ooh, that's probably not. That's not great if the Pope is.
He's the same character as he was in A Beautiful Mind. It's just the same thing, and then he's just
Gotcha.
doing things.
Just doing the exorcism.
Doing things a little differently here. This was good news for the Warriors. It's not great news for the Kings. How bad is it going to be? That depends. But I guess, you're a fan. You want to see the opponent at full strength. And, he's a nice guy and everything. He's gone through a lot this year. Steve Kerr talked yesterday about how good Andrew Wiggins has looked in Warrior workouts.
It's just the circumstances, the playoffs are different. The prep time is different. The focus is different. I think it was tough for him coming back in the middle of the regular season. He had never really had to do that in his career. He never missed that many games, and it definitely took him some time to find his rhythm. But he looks really good in the scrimmages, and we'll continue to give him more each day, and then we'll get a read on it. We'll see how he looks on Saturday, but we're thrilled to get him back.
Okay, Steve Kerr. For Steve Kerr, he didn't say much there. I mean, that's kind of the same things he used to say about Wiseman when he worked out. He looks good. Everything's good. The tell there was when he said, well, we'll see how he is Saturday and see where he looks. So it sounds like they're not sure yet. But if Wiggins is ramping up to be a factor, if he's going to be anything close to the Wiggins that Kings saw in the regular season, that's not good for the Kings.
Look out.
Yeah, because he's a good defender, played great defense for the Warriors last year in the playoffs. But against the Kings this year, Chris, as you know, he's been a scoring machine.
Yeah, he's been a problem for the Sacramento Kings, and it's not just him. It's people of his stature. The Kings have just really struggled with any good perimeter wings. They just don't really have, Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray, they have the length, but they've just really struggled to slow those kind of guys down all season.
Yeah, 3 games against the Kings this year. Wiggins, of course, didn't play in the recent Friday night game. He one of the knocks on Wiggins through his career has been at times he's been not consistent. He scored in the 3 games against the Kings 24, 25, 26 points. Right. So he averaged 25 points a game, 55.6% shooting. On threes, he shot 39.1%. So as good as he is on defense, he punished the Kings at the other end.
Right.
So if he's close to the Wiggins that helped the Warriors last year, I think that it's going to be tough for the Kings to keep up with the Warriors if Wiggins is full strength Wiggins.
Yeah, no, I was talking earlier in the show about how important it is for Jordan Poole to be good offensively, because if Steph and Clay don't have it for any reason, they just need that scoring punch. I didn't even consider Andrew Wiggins as part of that scoring punch. Absolutely. I mean, if Wiggins can give them 25 points, that's a lot more than what they're expecting and what they've gotten out of that position so far this season. So if you can just throw in a 22-point-a-game scorer into this rotation already, I mean, that where you're already afraid of the things that they can do offensively, that's where like we talked about earlier, this is not the same team that has been the Warriors that we've seen all season long. This is something completely different.
My favorite Wiggins moment ever was last year when he dunked on Luka. I don't know.
That was oh my gosh, that was incredible. That was in the postseason as well.
Yeah, it was in the conference finals.
Yeah, all over it. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's what Wiggins was known for when he first came into the league. He was known as more of a leaper, and his shooting would come along eventually, and it definitely has. But yeah, that was. Oh my! That might have been the dunk of the season last year. That was incredible on Luka, and it was on Luka too.
Yes, that's what I really love about it. So, is Andrew Wiggins, is he a mismatch for the Kings? Well, here's what Domantas Sabonis had to say about that yesterday.
He's a mismatch. He's a mismatch for them offensively. He can go at all of our guys one on one. He's a great defensive player. He's everywhere there. So obviously if he plays and makes some time, it's gonna help them.
Yeah, but we just don't know whether he's going to be. Probably won't play much in the first game, but I believe the Warriors, what they've said anyway, is that he'll be starting. Of course, they can always change their minds on that. So,
do you expect a minutes restriction from him? Have they typically, when they bring back their guys, have them on?
I believe Bob Myers was on their flagship a couple days ago, and I think he talked about a minutes restriction.
Interesting,
at least a loose one,
right?
Maybe
for the first couple games, kind of fill it out, feel how he's doing.
So it does sound like they're thrilled down back, but they're still not sure yet where he's going to be. And they just have to suss that out.
Very interesting. And you said starting lineup as well, right? They still plan to start him. I mean, it's scary, even if he can give you 20, 25 minutes, and I'm sure also if he's performing well, that minutes restriction will probably go out the window real quick. But it'll be interesting if he is on a minutes restriction, how the Kings can maybe try and take advantage of that, because without Wiggins, their forward depth isn't nearly as menacing. It's really just Jonathan Kuminga who presents real length and, true wing ability.
Yeah, and they'll mix and match like Anthony Lamb and Kuminga and Green, and Peyton actually plays kind of
he does play some three, right?
Yeah, and he's he's not very big, but he's capable of
he's
doing
physical,
that.
though.
They
He
get
has
pretty
the physicality.
positionless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have wondered how long it'll take Wiggins to work back in to their offense.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, I don't think that's an issue because he understands what they're doing, and their system has a reputation, I think, for being more complicated than it is.
Yeah.
You look at Dante DiVincenzo, who's a really smart basketball player, and he stepped right in there this year. It's like, yeah, this makes sense. So I understand Wiggins' conditioning will be an issue, but as far as, they got to work him back in, if he's healthy, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, in terms of the actual on the floor fit, I don't see there being much struggle, and it's not like adding Kyrie Irving to Luka Doncic or something like that. It's a pretty simple transition, at least it should be. I brought up yesterday in that Jim Barnett interview that I looked it up, and Wiggins had his highest 3-point percentage while also on his lowest usage percentage this season. So it feels like this season he's really become even more comfortable in that system and even more knowing where to be and where to get his spots without even having to have the ball in his hands, which is huge when Steph and especially Jordan Poole have the ball in their hands as much.
So
as
the
they
Wiggins question, question brings up Keegan Murray. How much can the Kings reasonably expect from Keegan Murray at both ends of the floor?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for Keegan because this is obviously his first playoff experience. It's his first year in the league. I think I saw that this is the first time the Warriors in a playoff series have gone against the top 5 pick in the draft. So that'll be interesting to see how the supreme experience of the Warriors kind of clash with Keegan's just newness of the entire league and, of course, of the postseason as well.
This is where stars can be born.
Absolutely.
Superstars can be born on the postseason stage.
Absolutely. Keegan can absolutely, and he's going to have a huge role with this team. They're going to need him to be great. If Keegan's not going to be the knockdown shooter that he's been at points this season, then the Kings are going to struggle. They're going to need somebody to really stretch the floor with Kevin Huerter as well.
And they're going to go out. They are going to attack him. They are going to go after him.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Warriors are going to try and get him into switches as often as possible, exploit his defense, exploit his lack of experience as well. Yeah, it's going to be a long series for Keegan, and I just hope that he's a shyer, more quiet kind of guy. I just hope that he doesn't get too much in his own head during these series. Hopefully, Draymond doesn't get in his head at all, and I just hope that he can stay focused on the task at hand and kind of don't get too low on yourself. I'm not really concerned about him getting too high on himself or too energized because that's just not the guy he is.
He's got to knock down threes, right? He's got to make shots. If he's making shots, he helps you.
Yes.
And then you can live with the rest of it. And
absolutely,
the other team's still going to feel him. And if he's not knocking down shots, then it could get a little iffy.
Yep. And that's also true just for his entire game. That's something that he's got to figure out with his development is how to still be productive even when you're not hitting shots. And that's something Mike Brown has directly called him out for this year.
The glass.
Yes, absolutely. He got to hit the glass. And it's tough when Domantas Sabonis, and this is what Keegan said. He said, it's tough when, Domantas is your best rebounder. You're just like, he's going to get them all. And Keegan has to have the mindset of that's just as much mine as it is him.
Speaking of Mike Brown on the weight of expectations in this series and which team will have to do the heaviest lifting. He said some interesting things about that yesterday. We'll tackle those next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push, Sactown Sports, and SactownSports.com.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
I think it should be illegal for Warriors fans to do any sort of chant or anything in our arena.
Illegal.
Make Warriors gear and chants illegal at Golden One Center and subject to immediate expulsion. Who votes no on that? Is that snowflakey of me? Yes. Do I care? No.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is excited to present one of the most recognizable voices of country music, Josh Turner.
Lock the door and turn the lights down low.
Josh Turner is back on tour, celebrating the 20th anniversary of his debut album, Long Black Train.
The Father and His Holy Name.
Grab your tickets to see Josh Turner on August 12th.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Oh, my goodness. Warm, dry weather. It's finally here, and it's time to get outdoors. Amy Ace Hardware and Amy's Outdoor Living celebrating with a huge warehouse sale 3 days only, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 8 to 5 p.m. The warehouse is at 11255 Pyrites Way, Suite 200 in Gold River off Sunrise and 50. And they've slashed prices on patio furniture, including top quality brands like Woodard and Brown. Everything for your backyard, including umbrellas, cushions, fire pits, and lounge chairs. Find big discounts on floor model Weber, Traeger, and Big Green Egg Grill. So here's what you do. Bring your truck loaded up. 3-day warehouse sale, 11255 Pyrites Way in Gold River off Sunrise and 50. Follow the signs to Amy Ace Hardware and Amy's Outdoor Living. Get out there and you tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet arch supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet arch supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Head to SactownSports.com right now. You can buy your tickets there for KNCI's Jiffy Lube Country in the Park, May 5th and 6th at the Cal Expo Grandstands. Performances by Chris Young, Lydia A., Justin Moore, Brett Eldridge, Joe Nichols, Maddie and Tay. Tickets start at just $45. Weekend passes just $80. They're available on the SactownSports.com event page. Kevin Michael, Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins on the Sactown Sports playoff push. Just a couple more days, Chris, till we get actual Kings, Warriors, playoff basketball.
Can't wait. It's been a long time in the making. I cannot wait. And, you know, I still have not fully even dove in on this series yet. Like, I haven't gone. Really? Like, if you were to ask me right now what my prediction is, I don't have one. I have no no thoughts yet on in terms of how many games I think this goes. And
well, there was one prediction yesterday. It was so popular that it was trending on Twitter. We'll get to that top of the hour. I think it was driven by a lot of Warrior fans, but we'll see where that is. I did want to ask you if you have any information for us on what's going on with the ticket prices.
Yeah.
One of the most expensive playoff series ever.
It really is. Dean in the YouTube chat sparked this. He put in the comments, Game 1 tickets just bought for $336 on StubHub 22 minutes ago. I took to Twitter, and I know that there's a couple good people on Twitter, only a few good people on Twitter, by the way. And I know that there's a decent amount of people who are trying to sell tickets on Twitter. And, Carmichael Dave is one of the hubs. If you're trying to get tickets, hit him up and he can connect you with some other people.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, at least he's trying to. I don't know if I would trust Dave. That might be one of the people I wouldn't trust.
This seems like a cash grab.
Boom. 100%. I could definitely see Dave just saying, yeah, I have 2 tickets. Send me the money and then I'll just electronically send it over to you, or we can meet at the arena or something. And he just never shows up. I'm seeing, big cash grab, big cash grab. I could see Dave. We won't.
I'd rather Dave grab cash than what he normally grabs, though. So,
jeez. I'm seeing $190 for standing room only tickets for Game 1. I also see you can buy like section 220. Row R, which has to be the back row of the arena, for $350 per ticket.
Okay, this is potentially really good news. We can get in anyway, but if we want to buy a ticket or tickets as fans, as I told you recently, I sold like $300 worth of Hot Wheels on eBay. So I could get a ticket? Maybe?
You can almost
I'm getting there.
A back row ticket. If you can get 2 standing room tickets, 1 standing room, 1.5 standing room tickets.
Yeah.
You can have I don't know, someone who's half of a person stand next to you.
All right. Well, it's something anyway.
But you can get in. I mean, when tickets first initially dropped, we were seeing like $450 just to get in the building. So at least it's dropped to something semi reasonable. And I think it just reached a point too. I mean, there were tickets that were going, and granted they were pretty floor seats, but $10,000. And I just think that everybody has to have a limit at some point, right? Like there's a factual limit to the dollar amount that you will spend on a singular experience. You're not going to spend, most sane humans aren't going to spend, $1,500 on a single ticket for a single night.
Yeah,
I guess
with
it depends,
you.
Right?
There's some people like, I don't care. I have so much money. I want to go. I want to sit in the front row. I don't care what it costs. It's not a factor because I have so much money.
Exactly.
Imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
those are different problems.
Yeah.
I quite literally cannot relate.
Why? I apologize because I'm sure this has been discussed, and my ignorance is showing here. Why are the tickets so much more expensive in Sacramento?
I don't think that there's a good answer besides the fact that it's just the weight. I think that there's so many people.
Just demand
100%. There's certain supply and demand. I think that there's a lot of people through this 16-17 year playoff drought, 16 season drought that told themselves so many times, even if it was 10 years ago, when the Kings finally do make the playoffs, I'm going to be there for Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's time to pay up, and people are having to stay true to their word. And to a lot of people's credit, I know a lot of people who have spent a lot of crazy money to go to one of these games. I just hope the Kings give them a good product, because like we said, if the Kings just lose both of these first 2 home games, it's not going to be it's not a good way to end this season.
Hey, if you got a deal that you'd care to share, maybe you don't want people to know how you got a deal, but if you got a deal that you care to share, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 on how much you pay for the tickets. If you're like, hey, I got a steal here. Big John on the YouTube chat, I paid $88 per ticket.
Woo!
Next year, y'all need to sign up for the pre-sale access link. Don't be afraid of getting the whole package, because there will always be people who will buy your extra tickets. Well played, sir. Well played.
That's a veteran move. See, this is also, you can't forget here,
I
Big
could get
John.
a lot of those tickets with my $300 of Hot Wheels money.
Yeah, I was like, you can almost buy the whole lower bowl for that. But it's this is it's a learning experience for all of us. We're all rookies in this. We all are inexperienced in this playoff, not just the Kings on the floor, but also the fans as well. We're all still trying to figure out all these things, and good for Big John. He knows he's clearly a vet. He clearly this isn't his first rodeo with tickets, and so good on you. If you can find a deal, by every means, take it.
I am very interested to hear if there's a big difference in the arenas. I suspect there will be.
Percentage wise,
not that so much, just the intensity in the arenas.
Mm-hmm.
Chase gets really loud, great fans, but I just expect there to be more of an edge and just more decibels here because of where Kings fans are psychologically.
Yes, I definitely think
maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I'm expecting.
It's going to be an arena full of DeMar DeRozan's daughters. Everyone is going to be screaming their heads off. Yeah, right. We broke the sound record once. We're going to do it again, just unofficially. I expect, and I mean, just the way the arena is built as well. Chase Center is a little bit more expanded, a little bit more space. Golden One Center, it really feels like the fans are on top of you. That's one of the things that I've noticed just standing courtside pregame is, when you're in the crowd, you just think, oh, I'm one of 18,000. You can really individually pick people out in that arena. Like, people are really on top of the court at Golden One. So I to your point, expect it to be a real energy that you can feel.
Dean on the YouTube chat, Game 2 dropped also $252.
As long as it's doable, I think that's totally doable. If I didn't have a media credential, I absolutely would drop at least for one of these games. You have to try and show up. If you can't go game 1 or game 2, gotta at least try and show up to game 5. This is can't miss stuff here.
Flashback. I remember going to A's games in the 70s where nobody was there, to the point where you're sitting behind home plate and you can hear the first base coach going, all right.
You can do that right now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You don't have to flash back very far.
Flash it back to last week, I guess. Yeah. All right, coming up, as promised, Mike Brown on the weight of expectations. And we'll look at the series prediction that's been trending on Twitter next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push.
The last time the Kings won the Pacific Division, Weber and Peja were rocking Arco Arena.
Weber with a rebound. Kings break out. They've got 4-on-3. Right wing feed. Christie touch pass. Peja behind the back of Weber. Howard down with the right hand.
20 years later, Fox and Domas have turned Golden One Center into a madhouse.
Fox to Sabonis. Sabonis scores in the low post.
Congratulations to the Sacramento Kings for winning the Pacific Division title for the first time since 2003.
And the Sacramento Kings have just won a Pacific Division championship.
During Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, 5 bags of Scott's Earth Grow mulch are on special buy for just $10. Planting a garden, mulch helps soil retain moisture. Sprucing up your walkway, mulch can help prevent weeds from creeping in. Potting some flowers for your porch, liven up your planters with an accent of year-long color with red, brown, or black mulch. Hurry into the Home Depot to get Scott's Earth Grow mulch. Now 5 bags for just $10. Offer valid in store only April 13th through 23rd. Color selection varies by store. Limit 60 bags per customer while supplies last.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own on report.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
My runner friends have bragged for years about their Asics running shoes. So when the company rep Mark Atterbury suggested I try their new Asics golf shoes, I jumped in with both feet, so to speak. Asics has been around since the late 1940s, producing shoes for all sports, so their introduction to golf came with lots of experience. After slipping my foot into the Asics Gel Ace Pro M for the first time, I recognize what made the brand so popular. It's the comfort. Pure comfort from the Flight Foam insole, which provides lightweight shock absorption. The Gel Pro M is the company's tour shoe and the choice of 2021 Master Champion Hideki Matsuyama. I'm guessing he appreciates the great fit, stability, and traction. The company has some other fancy names for the footbed and outsole features, but the bottom line is that the support through the swing is there. Asics Gel Pro M is available in 2 choices of color. Try a pair on or learn more at asics.com. That's your golf to go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Folks, there's been some swings and misses, but he's at bat now, and here's the swing. This could be at least a triple, a home run.
Are you looking for a grand slam? Regain and optimize your performance. See what Pacific Men's Clinic can do to make your love life the best it can be. Pacific Men's Clinic's safe and pain-free, clinically proven procedure breaks up plaque and stimulates the growth of healthy new blood vessels. Call for your free consultation now at 916-545-7577. That's 916-545-7577.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current. Roseville Electric provides you with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. Whether you're looking to go electric, reduce your carbon footprint, or simply save on your monthly energy bill, Roseville Electric has a solution for you. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, as always, of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Jeep Celebration event?
We have huge savings for springtime on everyone's favorite Jeeps. But if you're looking to save money at the pump, then you need to take advantage of our huge savings on new 2023 Jeep plug-in hybrids. Right now, save up to $14,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xEs and up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs with our lease specials.
Yeah, but are they really worth all the hype?
Absolutely. My mother-in-law just got one, and she saved $15,000 and absolutely loves it. Plus, she's saving a ton of money on fuel. Now is the time to take advantage of this savings.
Well, there's no better place to get your new Jeep than Hoblet. No dealer markups and the best savings around. Stop by for a test drive today or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$14,000 total net savings for leases only after $3,000 MyCar lease bonus cash. $7,500 hybrid electric federal tax credit rebate plus $3,500 Hoblet discount. $12,000 total net savings for lease options only after $2,000 MyCar lease bonus cash. $1,000 California bonus cash and $7,500 hybrid electric Fed tax credit plus $1,500 Hoblet discount. Multiple lease terms available. 5 days net savings. See dealer for details.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. No NBA today. Yesterday, the Bulls eliminated the Raptors with a 109-105 road win. Tomorrow, they will face the Miami Heat for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder also got a play-in road win when they beat the New Orleans Pelicans 123-118. The Thunder will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves for the 8th seed. The Oakland A's broke a 6-game losing streak yesterday with an 8-4 win over the Orioles. A's are trying to win their first series of the season today. It's another high-scoring affair. The A's and Orioles are currently tied at 7-7. Brent Rooker is having a day. He's got 5 RBIs with a sac fly and 2 home runs. Those are your headlines. Now let's go back to Whitey and Watkins.
Congratulations in order to Mike Brown, who has won a Coach of the Year award, not the NBA Coach of the Year award. That seems like a formality. This is the Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Kevin, Michael, Whitey, Gleason, Chris Watkins. So what do we have? What exactly is Coach Brown won today, Chris?
Adrian Wojnarowski just put out literally right after we went to break there. ESPN sources, after leading one of the league's most dramatic recent turnaround, Sacramento Kings coach Mike Brown has been voted the National Basketball Coaches Association's Coach of the Year. So not the NBA Coach of the Year, but the National Basketball Coaches Association Coach of the Year. So he's your favorite head coach's favorite head coach.
Yeah, which to him maybe means more. I don't know.
It should, right? I mean, shouldn't that mean more from your peers than from us media folk? No one, they don't really care about us media folk.
And the other one has to be a formality at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
there's Frankie lookalike Mike Dagnall is the only other guy who's even close to being on the radar. It makes me laugh
because I know Frankie would get so mad
at
that. Not mad, but he would just, I don't look like him. What about when he looks like him?
Only a little.
Because he's short? That would
I didn't even know that.
That would be exactly what Frankie said. That was almost
I'll
too
back
accurate.
off.
But
I like Frankie. And I think he's in tomorrow with us.
He
at
is.
some
Yes,
point.
Frankie will be joining us near the start of tomorrow's show. I think 10:30 is what we have planned. So definitely you can hear it directly from his mouth. How much he doesn't appreciate.
I'm not
being
gonna
called.
bring it up.
I'll bring it up.
All of us absolutely love Frankie, but there's something in all of us that has to just constantly
People
bully him at
roast
the
him.
same time.
Yeah, he gets every time Frankie's on air, he gets absolutely bullied, and I'm just like,
Maybe I
hey,
need to
that's my
stick up
guy,
for him.
guys. Can we
Yeah.
not just flambe?
Yeah. Mike Brown, as you pointed out, I think yesterday, Mike Brown has already won, of course, the Coach of the Year award.
Yeah.
And again, he won a Coach of the Year award, not the official NBA award today. That is almost a formality.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. You look at the Coach of the Year. There's only 2 guys in the history of the franchise who have won Coach of the Year.
The Sacramento Kings franchise.
Just yes, the Kansas City,
Kansas City.
Rochester,
Okay, gotcha,
Cincinnati Royals,
all that.
Yeah, and they didn't start giving that out until 63. So we had Phil Johnson, Kansas City, Omaha Kings in 75, and then he was the coach of the Kings when they first came here, and Cotton Fitzsimmons in 79 with the Kansas City Kings. So a Sacramento Kings coach has never won the NBA Coach of the Year award. Rick Adelman never won it.
That's insane. And then so who won it during the years of Rick
Adelman
Adelman?
came in 99, so he was here 99 through 06. It was Mike Dunleavy.
Oh.
Doc Rivers.
Oh, who's
actually
that guy?
Doc Rivers, Larry Brown, Rick Carlisle, some guy named Greg Popovich, Hubie Brown, D'Antoni, and Avery Johnson.
See, that's wrong. That's wrong. People
then, of
talk all
course,
the time about the MVP being wrong. That's completely wrong. You can't have
that. Sure doesn't seem right.
You can't have that stretch and not have Phil Jackson and Rick Adelman both at least earning one. I mean, especially during that era. Pop for sure deserves at least one of those. But
yeah,
to look back at come on. See, that's why media, you got to do better.
And Rick Adelman, he didn't win Coach of the Year with Houston either, and I know he had at least one really good year with the Houston Rockets. That's right, the Portland Trailblazers.
Interesting.
That.
So first Sacramento Kings head coach, well, soon to be first Sacramento Kings head coach to win
and
Coach
only
of the Year.
I'm just looking at this quickly. I believe only the third in the history of the franchise, going all the way back to Rochester.
How many people have won multiple Coach of the Years? Also, I mean, for Brown to. This is, if I had to guess, he won his first one in like 2007, 2008. This is a nice little.
What am I,
15
Wikipedia?
year? I know, right? I'm sorry.
I'm
know.
on it, so we're fine. Multi-time winners: Don Nelson, Pat Riley, Greg Popovich won 3.
Wow.
And then winning it twice: Gene Shue, Bill Fitch, Hubie Brown, Cotton Fitzsimmons, Mike D'Antoni, Tom Thibodeau, and Mike Budenholzer, who I earlier said I could beat in 101.
I could probably take Tibbs.
I don't think I could.
I think I could take Tibbs.
Tibbs would be brutal.
He would just yell at you.
Yeah.
The entire,
And he would. He'd body up a little bit. Even
Pop,
for
sure.
Pop is however
I
old
bet
he
Tibbs is dirty.
Pop would just go right for your kidneys, right with the elbows.
Definitely.
Yeah. He played, I think, at
Army, didn't he? I think
Air Force.
Air
or
Force.
something.
Yeah, I know he played for one of the.
Played probably a very physical brand of basketball.
For sure.
Yeah. So Mike Brown wins a Coach of the Year award today. Mike Brown yesterday was talking about the weight of expectations in this series. Chris, I think it's interesting the way, in my opinion, Coach is trying to put the weight on the Warriors. Here's what Coach Brown said yesterday about the team that has the heaviest lifting in this series when it comes to the weight of expectations.
At the end of the day, yes, we are the 3 seed. Yes, we're the 3 seed and they're the 6 seed. At the end of the day, they probably feel a little bit more pressure than we are, because they are the champions. Everybody expects them to be back in the finals. I mean, nobody even picked us to finish in a playoff spot, and which is fine. We can't change people's minds by telling them, hey, we're better than that. We got to go out and we got to change people's minds by our play and the results of our play. And so, it's the same thing. We're going to go out, we're going to play, we're going to try to play loose and free. And I was fast, loose, and disciplined. It's actually one thing. It's a lot of things that Steve used to say that I say with our group now. We're going to try to play that way and see what happens. And at the end of the day, like I said, the experience that they had, the championship experience that they have, they're going to have to deal with different pressures than what we're dealing with because of the expectation.
It's interesting when you have comments like that from a coach. They always make me wonder, who's he talking to?
Right.
I don't think at first I thought maybe he's putting the pressure on the Warriors. He knows the Warriors aren't listening.
Yeah.
So he's talking to his team.
Yeah.
Like the pressure's on them.
Yeah.
So it's just an effort on some level.
To try and relieve his guys
a little bit.
Maybe
right?
any sort of stress and anxiety that they're feeling about the situation.
Yeah.
Totally.
Fast, loose, and free. The pressure's on them.
Yeah.
We don't have any pressure on us.
And we talked about it a little bit earlier this week. I do believe it's true. I really think that Golden State, not in terms of if they lose, this will tarnish anything and people will look down on their legacy or anything like that, but just there's a certain level of expectation. There's a certain, when you are the defending champions, if you lose in the first round to a team that's supposed to be your baby brother and a team that you don't acknowledge, and you have all of this pedigree, and like we've said, this is you've said all season long that you just need to get right, and now you feel like you're getting right. What are the excuses? I think that if they lose in a first round series, ESPN after is going to be saying, is this the end of the Warriors dynasty? What does Draymond do? What does Bob Myers do? All of these questions. If the Kings lose in this first round, again, the story is just going to be, wow, what an incredible season. How fun was this? How can they build off of this? It's not going to be anything negative. So I think the Kings have already won that battle. And I personally believe that, I don't know how much pressure it is, but if there is any pressure, it's on Golden State. The Kings are playing with house money at this point.
I think the we always talk about the lack of experience. I think that puts pressure on the Kings just in terms of we haven't done it. As Mike Brown, we heard him earlier. You haven't done it yet. There's some pressure there. It's like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
What do we do? We're confident, but we haven't ever done it. I don't think the Warriors have any pressure on them right now. That's why, as I said earlier, in my opinion, if you win 2 games here, you start playing well there. If once you put pressure on them, then things could start to unravel for them. But I think they're a long ways with everything they've been through and the way things are coming together for them. I don't know. To me right now, the Warriors they're feeling a lot of things, but they're not feeling pressure.
I think you're right. And I do think there is a separate question of who feels more pressure at this moment heading into the series. And then like you're saying, like you're laying out, who has the potential to feel the most pressure. And that's where I completely agree with you. I think that's where the Kings, like we laid out earlier, you lose the first 2 games, all the pressure in the world then falls on your shoulder. That all falls on game 3. You mentioned this earlier. If the Warriors lose those first 2 games, they're chilling.
Okay, yeah,
they're
it's
okay.
like, that's not good, but they're
exactly. They're acknowledging, okay, these guys are legit, but they know that this series isn't over just because they lost 2 home games. So I do hear you on that. I definitely think the potential of pressure absolutely goes to Sacramento. Pressure right now, I would say Golden State probably has more things that they have to live up to heading into game 1.
I think there's some pressure on the Kings, the fact that they've had this wonderful season, and now it's like, all right, what are you going to do about it? Maybe you're right. Maybe the Kings do feel like we've had a great year. The rest of it is, gravy.
Yeah. I guess I view pressure more in terms of like what will the backlash be, and that's why I feel like there's not a lot of pressure on the Kings. It's just because again, like they've already kind of proven everything that they needed to prove out of this year, and I just
think they could feel that way. Honestly, though, like we're good.
I think that is a healthy way to view the entire season. I think that there's not a reason to be down on this season, even if they get swept. I think that there's still some more positives than negatives. Sure, the result wasn't great at the end, but the process of getting there, I think that they did enough to lay foundation for something that you can look forward to.
Do we agree that in that cut that Mike Brown's talking to his team and just trying to do whatever he can?
Absolutely.
Hey, we're good.
That's not the Draymond thing of trying to make the other team hear it and make sure you guys are living with that. Like you're saying, Mike Brown is just trying to calm the nerves of his team and let them know, hey, they're dealing with stuff too. It's not just on us.
If I'm Mike Brown, I'm saying, guys, here's what we're doing. Team activity. We're all going to Quick Quack Car Wash.
Right.
Yeah, get our cars clean. Yeah. Great, team bonding experience.
Clean car, clean mind.
Yes, well said. Quick Quack Car Wash, Sactown Sports want to send you to a Kings playoff game. Head to SactownSports.com now. Register to win a pair of tickets to Game 2 of the first round, Golden One Center, courtesy of Quick Quack, proud partner of the Kings. More than 30 locations in the Sacramento area at Quick Quack. Right. Wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership. Yeah. And enjoy the fast service that will have your car clean, shined, and dried in under 3 minutes. Now we will get to that prediction. Speaking of predictions, the prediction that was trending on Twitter yesterday that is disrespectful to the Sacramento Kings. That's next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Can we play it one more time? I just want to hear the producer one more time. Just so confident.
The same week that Troy Weaver was hired, name escapes me, the guy who's running the Kings was hired.
Yeah, Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Kings.
Yeah, Brown. Yeah, Brown.
Thank you. That's it. Like I said to start, just keep the Kings' name out your mouth when you're in Detroit. All right?
Thank you.
You have no business. Worry about your own mess.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Congratulations to Mike Brown, who won a Coach of the Year award, not the official NBA Coach of the Year award. He won a Coach's Coach of the Year award. Is this similar to the award that you, Chris Watkins, won as a volleyball coach? I heard that you won some kind of award.
Yeah, no, I mean, we got a nice little consolation prize in a tournament once, but this is it's.
Actually, I heard that you didn't really know the rules.
I
That's
didn't.
What I heard.
No, I mean, there was definitely a couple times where I was coaching volleyball, and then the referee would pull me over on the side and be like, you can't just sub your players out willy nilly like it's a basketball game. And I was like, I did know that. I definitely knew that. That was the kids. The kids, they messed up. I told them only check in then, and they So, those days are behind me.
A lot of parents or coaches of youth teams, they do that in basketball too. And, you have to check in. You can't just
walk
like
out onto the floor. Yeah.
Game and you're changing line. But a lot of, coaches are like, go on in there.
Go on
and the
in
referee go, hey.
Yeah. Youth
Hold
sports. I do not envy any youth sport parents or any youth, especially youth sport coaches. My dad was always my coach growing up, and just seeing the amount of politics that you have to deal with of parents coming to you after games and saying, hey, why is little Billy not playing? Or just straight parents, little league parents are I don't know if this is still the case. I'm sure it is, if not worse now, because of expectations that people put on kids, but would willingly walk up after practice and be like, hey, John's kid? Terrible. Why do you play John's kid? That kid is going nowhere. He can't do anything. He doesn't know his left foot from his right. I'm like, wow, as a kid, I just remember hearing that and being like, geez, adults are taking this way more seriously than we are.
Can I tell you my favorite criticism from a parent during a game?
Oh, please.
And I coached at a parochial school.
Criticism of you or criticism?
Yeah.
Oh,
my daughters played and I coached, and I was an assistant coach on this team. So I'm not even, I'm helping out the coach. And this coach, it was a tournament, so he's playing like the girls that were better, and some of the other girls were not playing much. And it's not my call. And I get up to talk to one of the players or something, and one of the parents says, where does it say in the Bible that only the good players play? And I don't think I did. I wanted to say, Numbers 3.
Numbers,
whatever.
Corinthians.
I hope I didn't, and I don't think I did. But it's like, it's not even up to me.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love how, I do. There's always those rules in the tournaments where it's like, the kids, that you have to play everybody. Everybody has to at least check into the game, and then always finding out the gymnastics of the really good teams who are just like, all right, we're gonna put Rebecca out there for 2 minutes and then pull her out.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a slippery slope.
It's not good.
What do you make of this? Yesterday on Twitter, I don't think it's still trending, but I was checking Twitter yesterday. Is it trending? I'm just looking. What's trending? Warriors in 5 was trending.
Gosh.
Warriors in 5.
It's
trending on Twitter.
I'm going to throw up. The hubris of Warrior fans to just assume it'll be Warriors in 5. Again, you guys are the 6th seed. I need to remind you, that's absolutely insane. I mean, it's not an insane take for sure. I mean, you're champions, you're returning champions. You're feeling good about the team.
There's
you
something
have,
about the manner in which some people are tweeting it, though.
Yes,
that's
it's
right.
very
If someone says, I respect both sides, but this is what I think. That's one thing. But just dismissively,
Dubs in 5,
Warriors in 5.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not thinking anything of it. And I think it was one of the first things we talked about on this show was I do think that there is an element of Warrior fans just completely overlooking and not understanding what this Kings team is. I think there is a lot of people who assume that, especially who have not watched this Kings team play, that it is just an up and down. Oh, they have shooters. They just run the floor, get it to their shooters, and they shoot. I've mentioned a couple times here, the Kings really do. I'm telling you, they would prefer a slower pace. They really enjoy to get into their half court offense. They like to work the clock and make you guys move a lot. I think Warrior fans are going to be really surprised at the complexity of the Kings offense.
That's a great point, and I'm not sure where to go on it. I know we talked about it yesterday because I've been back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I know yesterday we talked about that. If it slows down, who benefits? And I was thinking like you, I was saying, I think the Kings would benefit. And we had Jim Barnett on, and he said if it slows down, it benefits the Kings because the Warriors, they don't like to play that pace. And I talked to Jerry Reynolds yesterday, and he'll come on with us tomorrow, of course. And I mentioned that to him. I said, you think the Kings would want to slow it down? He says, I can't imagine why they would.
Yeah, I don't think they would want to slow it down for sure. And it would be a matter of, if their shots are falling or what and how that goes. But I just think it's irresponsible to just throw out Dubs in 5. I think that's
some of that, Chris, might have, pardon me for interrupting, but I think some of it might have been in the aftermath of hey, Wiggins is back.
Sure.
Which he may be, he may not. So that might have,
sparked it,
fueled some of that. Oh, this is done.
Yeah.
And also, technically, the Warriors did beat the Kings 3 out of the 4 times. But, I mean, it doesn't take into consideration what the Kings have done this season.
Exactly. Right. Absolutely. And the fact that was the first 12 or 15 games of the year. And then, like you're saying, you take out that.
Have you found anything from those 4 games, anything that you can look at and apply to say, wow, that's could be a factor in this series?
I haven't gone back and watched the earlier games. I did rewatch the Friday game, just some of it, not all of it. Really just the stuff that we talked about the other day, that getting a lot more possessions. I think you mentioned it last segment, Davion Mitchell guarding Steph Curry. I think that's going to be a huge part of this series as well, is who the Kings defensively, just the different things that the Kings try and do defensively to try and combat how bad they've been defensively all season long. Can they just play good defense in the context of this series is important. You don't necessarily have to go from 24th in the league to the best defensive team, but can you at least become passable in terms of matchups for this series is something that I'm looking out for. But as Saint told us, it's all about matchups, right? That's all we need. That's what we need to pay attention to is the matchups.
Peppy Guns on the YouTube chat says Kings in 3. Let's get
Kings
that
in 3,
trending.
if that's possible. Right. If it's Dubs in 5, then Sack in 3.
Yeah, the Kings win the first 3 games, and then the Warriors just say, you know what, just take it.
White flag.
We're done.
White flag.
We're done.
Raise a white flag from Chase Center because, we can have the beam. They can have the white flag. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, The Athletic, they asked an anonymous coach, anonymous executive, anonymous scout about these 6. We know of the 6 series matchups. There's 6 we know. The other 2 we're not sure yet. And these 3, whoever they are, anonymous, and maybe it was different ones, but they agreed on everything except one of them picked the Lakers. The other 2 went with the Grizzlies in that series. The rest of them, they all agreed on everything, and they all 3 of them said the Warriors win this series.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, again, and it makes sense for sure. Like I said earlier, I don't blame anybody for going with Golden State in 6 or going with Golden State in 7 because they are the defending champions. There is a certain level of respect that the Kings also deserve in terms of making this a legitimate series, extending it to 6 or 7 games. I am not ready to go on record with anything yet, but I understand thinking that this will go 7 games no matter what. I feel like at the moment 6 or 7, and I can't pick who it's going to be.
Also, if you're someone in the media, and these people, maybe they wouldn't care because they were anonymous, but if you're someone in the media and you're making predictions and you don't want to be wrong,
Right.
But if you are wrong, if I pick the Kings and I'm wrong, not me personally, but if I'm somebody at ESPN or something, boy, that's going to come back, right? If I pick the Warriors and I'm wrong, well, no one's going to blame me for picking the Warriors over the Kings.
Exactly. You're just kind of chameleon yourself, and you're like, well, I'm not dumb if everybody else did it. But
come on, we all thought that was gonna
especially
happen.
if you say Kings in 7 or something, and then it's Warriors in 4 or 5, then it's like, oh yeah, you're really dumb because you way overestimated. I understand people don't want to look stupid. I totally understand that. But I think it's just at some level you just have to respect the fact that the Kings are getting absolutely no respect from the national media. All the respect that they got while the regular season was happening, when this was all fun and a good story, that has now completely gone out the window, as it feels like everybody has completely forgotten. Again, the Kings are the number 3 seed in this situation. They should be the favorites, and they should be treated with a certain level of respect that it just doesn't feel like they're getting.
Not a lot of people covered both teams this year. Anthony Slater in The Athletic,
Yeah, he did.
He covered both teams,
Yeah,
and
he had,
and you should check out that preview today. I mean, I'm not saying he's Frankie or anything, but it was a good rundown of things, a good review of things, preview of things in The Athletic, and he says Warriors in 6. Now, anybody, any series that goes 6, that's
It's a competitive series.
Yes,
especially
exactly.
in a first
Thank
round.
you.
Especially in a first round. That is showing respect. I would say absolutely 6 games. Warriors in 6, I'm okay with, because that is still, I think it's fair. All the things that we've laid out, the inexperience of this Kings team, it is a lot to ask them to overcome that, especially against this incredible opponent. So I understand picking the Warriors in 6. I'm just not.
It's a safe pick. I'll pick the Warriors. Why? Well,
it's the Kings.
Bless you, Bobby Marks, for picking the Kings.
The Kings will win a couple games is at least showing them respect. But yeah, Bobby Marks picking the Kings in 6. I could see it. I can really see it. I can see this series going so many different ways. And I think that even game by game, like I don't expect a lot of continuity from game to game. I think that each individual game is going to be its own individual matchup battle.
It's going to be a huge factor in the series that no one's talking about. The Warriors get up here Saturday and they're like, what? There's an alligator in the river, right? They can't handle something like that.
They're not,
especially if they heard from me that's a 17-foot alligator.
Yeah, 17-foot alligator.
17-foot alligator.
Like, is it safe to fly? I know that thing's in the water, but who knows?
All right, coming up next, all kidding aside, the Fox and 1. We've had some fun with it. It may be the Kings' best chance of keeping the chef out of the kitchen. That's next. He's Watkins. I'm Whitey. This is the Sactown Sports Playoff Push.
The regular season is over. Now the real test begins.
Kings will have the number 3 seed. They'll have the home court advantage.
Sactown Sports is your home for all things Kings as they enter into a first-round matchup with the Warriors.
Fox steps into 3. He stops a triple, and the Kings have regained the lead. But against the explosive Warriors, you can't hold your breath.
Stay tuned to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the most comprehensive Sacramento Kings playoff coverage.
Let's cheers to the champions. Join us for the 50th anniversary of the 1973 World Series championship team with a pregame ceremony on Sunday, April 16th. Celebrate Gene Tennis, Vita Blue, Raleigh Fingers, and many more A's legends.
The next pitch deep to right field. It is going. It is gone. Goodbye. 2-run home run by Reggie Jackson.
Tickets are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
The Kings are in the playoffs, and Sactown Sports and Quick Quack Car Wash want to send you to a game. Head to the Sactown Sports website and register to win a pair of tickets to Game 2 of the first round at Golden One Center. All courtesy of Quick Quack, proud partner of the Sacramento Kings with over 30 locations in the Sacramento area. At Quick Quack, wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership and enjoy the fast service that will have your car clean, shined, and dried in under 3 minutes.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, Bill Eats RV, and Naughty Wood Barbecue.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports Headlines. No NBA today. Yesterday, the Bulls eliminated the Raptors with a 109-105 road win. Tomorrow, they will face the Miami Heat for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder also got a play-in road win. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans 123-118. Thunder will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Western Conference 8th seed. Oakland A's broke a 6-game losing streak with a 8-4 win over the Orioles. The A's will try to win their first series of the season today. It's another high-scoring affair. The A's and the Orioles are currently tied at 7 apiece in the top of the 8th. Brent Rooker is having a day with 5 RBIs with a sac fly and 2 home runs. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Sacramento Kings head coach Mike Brown has been voted Coach of the Year of the National Basketball Coaches Association. This is a vote from all 30 head coaches in the NBA, and the official NBA Coach of the Year has yet to be announced. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Just a matter of time before Mike Brown wins the official NBA Coach of the Year award, but congratulations to Mike Brown. He didn't care about that right now, Chris. He's got other fish to fry. He's busy right now getting ready for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be celebrating that Peers Award anytime soon.
No country music in Modelo.
Yeah,
for that.
he is a big country music. Maybe we'll see him at Country in the Park this year.
Hopefully he'll be busy then too. But
yeah, exactly what I was going to say. But yeah, I know Mike Brown's a big country fan, so I hope he celebrates in some fashion because I do think, like we said earlier, it probably means a lot more to win the coaches than the actual national media one. But shout out to Mike Brown, who's going to be the first of many Kings to receive hardware this offseason.
And that, again, to me, is why you need to put up the banner this year, Pacific Division, and then all the honors that are going to come, all the accolades, because that banner will also represent the end of the playoff drought. And I know that when the Maloofs were great for Sacramento. It didn't end well, but they did a lot of great things for the Kings in Sacramento. And then it didn't end well, I know. Yeah. But when they hung up the 2 Pacific Division banners, was that 02-03?
Yeah.
And when you have a team in your division that ends up beating you and winning the championship, it kind of takes some of the luster off it. But this is different.
That's a great idea. I haven't heard that presented, but it would be a cool idea just for a single banner. I've been saying that they need to consolidate the banners because it would look a little ridiculous to have 3 division banners. I think that's probably not celebrating the right things you want to celebrate, but this is a huge season. I mean, it does feel like maybe some sort of commemorative banner of breaking the 16-year playoff drought, having coach of the year, having possibly executive of the year, and then De'Aaron Fox is more than likely going to win clutch player of the year, Jerry West Award, and then the Beam as well. You know, it's been a really special season and a lot to remember about it. It would be really awesome if they could have something in the arena somewhere that is like very that calls back,
commemorates all that. And I don't know if any team has ever done that, but then I don't know that any team's been in this particular situation.
Exactly. Because this it's part of the history. I said it the other day, but the 16-year playoff drought is just as much of part, if not more, part of the Kings franchise history as the mild bit of success we've had. So ending that and hopefully shifting to a new era should be celebrated, because like the shirt will eventually say, we survived the playoff drought.
Yeah, and I know that I've been kidding about the Fox and 1, and we've been kidding about that. But speaking of Mike Brown, there is a good chance that he's going to do something especially creative when it comes to trying to stop Steph Curry. Might be a janky defense like we saw from Nick Nurse in 2019, although circumstances are different there too as well, right? Because we know we talked to Chris Biederman today. He said, 2019, though, in those finals, the Warriors were a little short-handed because Durant was hurt. And then when Clay got hurt, it's a little easier to run a box and 1.
Yeah, you don't have to worry
Steph.
about the perimeter quite as much.
Yeah, and the Kings haven't been very good at some of those types of defenses this year.
Yeah,
trapping and not good on the backside.
Exactly. They've thrown some of it out this year, and we've seen it in moments work. But you know, they all eventually, everyone kind of figures out in the NBA how to beat the zone after a certain point.
And we all know that, hey, Steph's going to be Steph, but still, he was so good against the Warriors this year. So good against the Kings, that we got to have something in mind in case he's going nuclear. And if we can disrupt him at any point and disrupt their offense, that gives us a leg up. But here are the numbers. Steph Curry, some of the numbers against the Kings this year. In one game, he had 27 points.
Yeah.
That was his bad game.
Yeah, that was an off night.
His bad game he had was 27 points, 9 of 17, 3 of 9 on threes, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He did have 4 turnovers in that game. That was like, we stopped him. He also had 33 points, and he had a 47-point game, as I'm sure you remember. He had a 17-point fourth quarter against the Kings. He had a 21-point second quarter. And Steph Curry talked at practice about the possibility of Mike Brown going to essentially a Fox and 1.
Oh, the Fox and 1?
You seemed surprised after that one.
I mean, I probably wouldn't be surprised if Mike B does it. We did it a lot when he was running the defensive show here. So there's nothing to be surprised about. It's just a matter of we hadn't had any experience with that up until that point. So you're trying to figure it out. But all that's in the memory bank to go back to on in-game adjustments and being able to respond with whatever the defense is throwing at you.
It's incredible when you watch the NBA, and every so often a team will go to zone, and every so often the team playing against the zone looks like they've never seen it before.
It's so strange, especially from a professional level. It's like quite literally your daughter's team, I'm sure, was running box and 1s and 3-2s and 2-3 defenses. And you would imagine that these guys see this routinely because you've been seeing it since elementary school, but then they get to the pros and they're almost like, same with sometimes full court traps, full court, half court traps as well. It's like, you guys have reached a certain level here where there should be a janky defense like Steph and Mike Brown calls. This should be, you're doing this elementary school thing on me. Well, I can quite literally beat this in my sleep, but it does to your point. There's so many times when, especially Miami loves to throw out zones, and it breaks your brain. It makes you think. I think that's really what it comes down to, is when you run a zone, instead of it being all motion, all free, all, you're just going with the flow because you're just playing man-to-man defense, and you see it all the time, where the help is going to come from and all that. And then once the zone happens, it just forces you to think for that half second. And that half second at the professional level is all those guys need to completely disrupt everything you're trying to do.
Yeah. If you get one stop, maybe 2, but even you get one stop out of that, just because you're like, wait, what? Okay, it's going to take us a second to recalibrate here. They're playing zone against us. Then you've won.
Yeah.
But, the Kings, and we discussed this week as well, they saw a lot of zone this year. And I have no doubt that the Warriors are going to throw some zone at them.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure. And just like, you've mentioned it before, but this is the advantage that the Kings have. And Steph kind of pointed to it as well, that Mike Brown knows this team, has seen every single Warrior game the past X amount of years. He knows everything that has ever made this team struggle. He's been in, war rooms with Steve Kerr talking about when this does happen, how do we respond? And so hopefully Mike can use all of that knowledge and hopefully build counters off of Fox. See, now you got me saying Fox and 1.
Go ahead and say it.
It's
basically what it's going to be.
Those defenses as well. I definitely wonder how much Mike Brown's expertise of the Golden State Warriors system is going to play into effect of what they try and do defensively.
Yeah. We'll ask Jerry tomorrow about the Fox and One.
Yeah.
I talked to Jerry Reynolds yesterday. Jerry and Phantom and I do the Old Fashioned 3 podcast. And I asked Jerry yesterday, I said, hey, here's my idea. And he kind of chuckled. He said, you have gone off the deep end. So
if Jerry is saying that your nicknames and your names are out of whack, then you've probably gone too far.
He kind of laughs. I think you've gone off the deep end.
I'll have to ask Jerry tomorrow, but has he been working on workshopping any names? I know he's always like classic. He's got like the great Rudini. He's got, hippity hop to the barbershop and all those great Jerryisms.
It's a great question. I know that he was not a fan of my Steph Curry nickname. Greatest of outside shooters ever, the Goose. He did not.
You didn't like that?
Didn't think that was.
I thought you would like that. That feels right up Jerry's alley. I'm surprised.
I've been trying to get my nickname for De'Aaron Fox to catch on. It hasn't quite yet.
Yeah. What is that?
Because he's such good in the fourth quarter that when he's in, game over.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah. It's like it belongs on Basketball
I think I like
Reference.
it better than Watkins
You know what I meant to ask Ryan Hollins yesterday? I was on his Basketball Reference page. You know what his nickname is?
What?
The Booty Call.
What? I didn't know that.
I would have had. I completely regret not asking.
Is that
Ryan
on Basketball
It
Reference?
is on It is his only nickname on Basketball Reference. Ryan Hollins, the Booty Call. I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that he was on 9 NBA teams in 10 years, if I had to guess.
Maybe so.
But
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, that is his only official listed nickname on Basketball Reference.
Yeah. Well, we could probably get him.
Tony Allen says Ryan Hollins' nickname is a booty call. We kept bringing him back.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. That's Tony Allen who said that.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
hilarious. That's
There's
great.
your
Love
answer.
it. The Booty Call.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, you can check out our interview with the Booty Call yesterday on Sactown Sports YouTube channel and SactownSports.com.
Chris Biederman had a great point today about the Fox and 1. You're kidding around. I'm kidding around. And he says, you don't really want to do that with Fox because if he's the 1 and he's playing man and you got 4 guys playing zone, you're going to exhaust him.
I like the idea.
It's a great point.
It makes a lot of sense, right?
Davion is your 1.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm still going to call
it the Fox and 1, right? He just has to be. He doesn't even have to be on the floor. We're calling it the Fox and 1 regardless because it just is. It works too well. But I do agree with Biederman's point that that's the struggle of being a two-way player is that you do have to spend so much energy on the defensive end that it can affect your offense. I don't know if the Kings can afford that. So maybe to Chris's point also, when I asked him who the most important player of the series is, his answer was Davion Mitchell pretty much for that point as well, that he's going to have the responsibility of probably having to man up Steph Curry and go into a box and 1, but also on the other end, he's going to have to stay on the floor by hitting shots.
Let me ask you this, and you can answer on the other side if you want to. When you look at all the basketball players you've ever seen, where do you rank Steph and how do you rank him? And do you put him up there or do you qualify with best shooter? Where are you with Steph Curry? Because, one way or the other, he's going to put on a show for us in the next week.
I'll have an answer after the break.
All right.
I'll have to think exactly where I place him.
All right. That's next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push with Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Can we say the most punchable that played for both teams is Jeff Kent?
Jeff Kent's the guy that on Sunday at like 10 a.m. rolls through a nice, quiet suburban area, like with people eating like brunch outside,
and he laughs as someone spilled their coffee and eggs. He's like, got him.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022
total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company zone 1 report.
Golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Srixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metalwoods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Tens of thousands affected by the toxic water at Camp Lejeune are left with death, cancer, dementia, birth defects, and other serious illnesses. And along with the harm, so many worries. Call James Harris Law, the experienced, trusted law firm that can get you significant compensation while protecting all your VA benefits. Call our Camp Lejeune legal helpline now. Call 800-396-3737. 800-396-3737.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current. Roseville Electric provides you with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. Whether you're looking to go electric, reduce your carbon footprint, or simply save on your monthly energy bill, Roseville Electric has a solution for you. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today. Folks, there's been some swings and misses, but he's at bat now, and here's the swing. This could be at least a triple, a home run.
Are you looking for a grand slam? Regain and optimize your performance. See what Pacific Men's Clinic can do to make your love life the best it can be. Pacific Men's Clinic's safe and pain-free, clinically proven procedure breaks up plaque and stimulates the growth of healthy new blood vessels. Call for your free consultation now at 916-545-7577. That's 916-545-7577.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sactown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
How do the Kings exploit the Warriors' biggest weakness? That's coming up just a moment here on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, thank you for being with us. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a little thumbs up. We appreciate it. Interesting comments all day long. Appreciate that very much as well. Manny Too Legit says, can't fall for Curry's pump fakes as well. Yeah. And
I saw a stat yesterday that Steph Curry on this season, just this season, has 11 3-point and ones, so potential 4-point plays. They have 20 as a team total. You know how many the Sacramento Kings had this season?
4.
Zero. Not a single 3-point and one. So to Manny Too Legit's point, don't bite on the pump. Do not bite on the pump.
You know, was great at that was Chris Webber got guys all the time, all game long.
Sometimes I think, like the longer process of a jump shot you have, sometimes it's like you just don't know how to time it. Webber was really good at that, drawing the and one foul.
Dean says Steph Curry going to be hard to stop getting calls.
I don't know.
Talk to the Warriors. They say,
yeah,
he doesn't get calls.
I was just about to say,
calls.
Warrior fans would argue completely opposite. And I agree as well. Like, Steph does get a really, really tough whistle, especially, maybe not so much. It's kind of funny, actually. On the perimeter, you could argue he maybe gets a good beneficial whistle. But every time he drives to the paint, he takes a lot of contact and usually ends up on the ground and finds no call. And, of course, my favorite thing, and it was my argument with James Harden, he makes the shots too. I mean, it's not just like he's trying to draw the foul and throws up some ridiculous looking shot. It goes in. Like, a lot of the time he'll try and get the contact and try and get the foul, but he's still an incredible finisher. It feels like his finishing's like severely underrated.
And he's got a wrap on his shoulder because he had a separated shoulder this year.
Yeah.
And he had really basically a very bad high ankle sprain and is wearing wrapping on that. So you can't really tell, but I mean, he's got a lot of miles. He's put a lot of miles on him this year.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not built for it. He doesn't look like LeBron James. He can't go to 9 straight finals every year and play the most games every year and then come back and do it all over again. Like you're saying, Steph's got a lot of bumps and bruises, but he plays a lot more physical of a game than I think Kings fans are expecting.
Where do you rank him?
I did it during the break. I have Steph Curry absolutely top 10. I almost had him top 5. I've got, in no particular order here, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Kareem. And at that point, I had to start thinking, does Steph Curry go here? I ended up going with Bird and Magic just because of their importance and the fact that in their championships, they were every single time the team's best player. God bless Steph Curry. He's had a great career. He does have that, if we're picking nits at this point, he does only have one finals MVP. So at that point, I had to have him below Bird and Magic, but I've got him above Wilt. I've got him above Tim Duncan, which we know that's tough for me. Got him above Shaq and Kobe as well. So I have him at number 7 right now as the 7th greatest player of all time.
I think that speaks to the significance of what he did last year in the finals against Boston. He
Absolutely.
did some of those things that he hadn't done before that kept him from making a lot of people's lists, like your list there.
Yeah,
because
very interesting.
He's a great shooter, but he can't take over the game himself, and he did that last year.
It's just not it wasn't a fair criticism at the time. It was just demeaning to him really to try and say, oh, Kevin Durant won those 2 MVPs, Iguodala won that one finals MVP. And to use that to kind of downgrade Steph, it was pretty disrespectful. And I'm glad that he did get last year to kind of, get that on his resume and shut those people up.
That said,
I was one of those people, by the way.
That said, Mike Brown knows his game very well.
He does very, very well. Very, very well. And it'll be interesting to see again, like how he matches up with him. Does he know the things that Steph Curry, maybe it's not common knowledge that Steph Curry doesn't like pressure or real physicality or something like that. That's the kind of insight that we're hoping Mike Brown can give his guards.
The problem is to put some physical pressure on somebody, you got to be able to stay up with them. And Steph Curry is just like moving
everywhere
all the time,
everywhere.
So,
and I don't know how you try and keep up with that. Right. Yeah. That's a lot of scout team. Somebody on scout team right now is exhausted on the Kings side.
This may not make sense, but I believe it that he's going to get his, but still the degree to which you're able to limit him a little bit is still going to be vastly important to determine whether you can win this series.
Right. Kind of like what we talked about yesterday with all the records with how many, the team's record with how many points he scores. It's marginal. Like you're saying, like a 30-point game and a 25-point game might not feel like a lot, but it really does do a lot just in terms of limiting his impact as much as you possibly can.
And so how do the Kings exploit the Warriors' biggest weakness? Chris found some numbers on this. The Kings were 16-2 this year when they had 10 or more steals this year.
Yeah.
And the Warriors led the NBA. We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
16.3 turnovers per contest. And by the way, Steph Curry, he commits a lot of turnovers when he's not playing well. And the Warriors had 26 games in which their opponent had 10 or more steals. So there is an opportunity right there, perhaps. Kings get out in the passing lane.
Yep.
If the Warriors get a little bit sloppy, and it happens. It's been part of their DNA since Steve Kerr got there because he gives them the freedom to run an offense that's a little more less structured, and they throw the ball all over the place, and that would be greatly beneficial to the Kings.
In the words of Peter Parker's uncle, I think, Uncle Ben. Yes, Uncle Ben. with great power comes great responsibility. And Steve Kerr absolutely gives his offense that power. He gives them the freedom to do as they please and run that motion offense, but and to be as stylish and as flashy as you want to be. Steph Curry throwing behind the back passes all the time. And the Kings need to capitalize on that. They need, whether it be just capitalizing on turnovers in general or getting those steals to help that 16-2 stat. They need to capitalize on all of the Warriors' mistakes and that's where they can put the pressure on them again, like make them feel like, oh, we're way too sloppy. Make the Warriors feel like they need to tighten up as well. Make the Warriors, and I think a big part of that too is the respect factor. It does feel like when the Warriors start to get flashy a little bit, it is when they're kind of, I don't want to use the term disrespect, but when they're kind of trying to start to seep into the other team, like, do you know who you're playing? Because this is us and this is what we do. And if you're going to come and play here, we're going to put on a show on you and you're going to just be an innocent bystander. So the Kings need to capitalize and not because part of those turnovers are the Warriors trying to start feeling themselves. The Kings have to limit the Warriors getting into that mode that they get into.
Couple months ago, The Athletic had a story. They talked to former NBA players about what's going on in the league now, guys from, I think, the 90s and on. And one of the questions for these players, this panel was, what current coach would you want to play for the most? And Steve Kerr he got the most votes.
Yeah.
And I was doing a radio interview when that came out, and he didn't know about it. And I told him, I said, yeah, these former players say you're the current coach they'd most want to play for. And he said, they appreciate the fact that I give players the freedom to turn the ball over 16 times a game.
Yes, absolutely. Who wouldn't want to sign up? Because we see over here in Sacramento, Mike Brown will pull you for a whole lot less. If you just miss a defensive rotation, Mike will yank you out. He'll call a timeout. He'll walk over to the spot you're supposed to be, point, let everyone know you messed up. Yeah, Steve will let his guys go, sometimes for better and sometimes for worse too. He has a very long leash on his guys.
Yeah, the Warriors have always, or at least to this point, they've had the ability to overcome things like that.
Yeah.
Their margin for error, because they are older and they don't have as much depth,
right,
it is shrinking. So if they're sloppy with the ball, yes, the Kings have to take full advantage of that. And if they're going to win, that's what's going to have to happen. And we'll find out starting. Are you ready? Can you wait till Saturday now?
I think I can wait till Saturday now. And this is starting
to almost there.
Yeah, I'm starting to kind of, as we're hitting the back nine of this episode right now, I'm starting to kind of feel that excitement. I know we can almost really start to talk about the game here.
Up next, the shot the Dubs want Fox to take, the shot that he must make if the Kings are going to win the series on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push.
Are you ready to hear this?
It's a 20-point
That is
advantage.
incredible.
This guy thinks he can do more offense.
The third and fourth periods.
It almost gets stronger.
Wow.
That is incredible. She deserves. You know what? She made the most of her off day. So good on her for showing up to the game and
I
bringing
want
her
to go to the
A
game.
effort.
No, you can't go to the game. Good for her.
At least she'll be tired. You know, I'm sure she was
DeRozan.
DR DeRozan. I'm sure she slept well on the way home because she must have been exhausted after that. She gave all 48 minutes. She was the only one who was really leaving it all on the floor last night. And shout out her because she was a big. She made her impact known last night.
Yeah, and for the Raptors, you know, what do we care? We're worried about the Kings and we're worried about the West.
Yeah,
a terrible year for the Toronto Raptors, who had some high hopes this year, and they just could never figure things out. They end up getting bounced. Out of the play-in as a 10 seed.
Yeah, and just incredible talent. I mean, I feel like I don't know I don't think anyone. I think that's where the frustration stems from. Is I don't know if many people can really point to what exactly went wrong. Just kind of the pieces didn't really fit this year. It feels like they have enough star talent. Fred VanVleet's a really good point guard. Siakam's been a guy who's been All NBA the past couple of years. Scotty Barnes coming off his Rookie of the Year campaign. There was enough there for Toronto to build off of, and for them to just end the season the way it did. It's got to be scary. And now there's rumors, there's whispers that they're going to let go of Nick Nurse, who's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the NBA right now.
Can't through that team anymore. It's amazing. He was such a better coach when they had Kawhi Leonard on the team.
It's really crazy how that works. How, you have a star player and all of a sudden it makes you look a whole lot better, and fixes a lot of your problems.
At the risk of making a point that's overly obvious, it's interesting to me to look at some of these teams that stumbled through the play-in games and some that are still playing. Teams with high hopes. Minnesota has such high hopes this year.
Mm-hmm.
OKC coming out of nowhere. Tough loss for the Pelicans, end of their season, and the Raptors. Then you look at the Kings and where they are. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, again, like
before the season started, it's like maybe they'll get in the play in a 3 seed.
It just doesn't make
remarkable.
sense. And I mean, some of
these are pretty good teams and they just couldn't figure it out.
They just couldn't figure it out. And again, that's huge props to De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, who fought through injury all season long to make sure that their team was in this situation. Because frankly, we're nervous about this Warrior series. I would be a mess personally if the Kings were in this play-in situation. I just would have a hard time having faith with the history of this team that they would be able to pull through.
That said, is playoff heartache part of the growth of a great team? Tell you who thinks so next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Lucky enough to get tickets to one of the playoff games yet? Well, if not, you might want to try this. Quick Quack Car Wash and Sactown Sports want to send you to a Kings playoff game. Head to SactownSports.com now. Register to win a pair of tickets to Game 2, first round, Golden One Center, courtesy of Quick Quack. Proud partner of the Sacramento Kings, more than 30 locations in the Sacramento area. Quick Quack Car Wash, all you want with an unlimited membership. Enjoy the fast service that'll have your car clean, shined, and dried in under 3 minutes. I need to go there.
Yes.
Thank you, Quick Whack Car
Much
Wash.
like Chris said yesterday, I usually don't clean my car until the inside is what needs the cleaning. And as I was leaving my car before hopping on the show today, I desperately was like, it's time. It's definitely time. So I'll be hitting up a Quick Whack location near you soon.
There is a coach who wants his comments to be anonymous, who says that the Kings, they're going to have to go through some playoff heartache. All right. Before we get to that, I had mentioned earlier, there's a shot that De'Aaron Fox needs to make. There's a shot that the Warriors are going to want him to take, and he's going to have to make it if the Kings are going to win this thing. And Anthony Slater had a great breakdown in The Athletic today of some previous action between the two teams. That 19-foot jump shot, De'Aaron Fox is going to get that if he wants it against the Warriors. That's probably one of the shots the Warriors defensively are going to give him. That's part of defense in the NBA now is, all right, we got to give you something. It's so hard. You can't shut somebody down. We're going to give you what we think gives you the least chance to make your shot. So they'll be giving him that shot. If he can bury that shot, he's going to cause a lot of problems for the Warriors.
And that is his shot. He loves to get to that mid-range pull-up jumper that he likes to take, but I do think that that's the right strategy because that shot is a direct result. It's a counter. It's you're expecting me to go to the rim. You're expecting me to attack where I'm also incredibly dangerous, incredibly lethal, incredibly efficient. You expect me to go to that. Well, as I'm going to that, I'm just going to completely hit the brakes and stop and hit that 19-footer. So if they only give him that 19-footer and really sell out on not allowing him to get to the rim, I think that's a good strategy and something that De'Aaron Fox is going to have to adjust to. Make De'Aaron a jump shooter. He's a completely different player.
It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. And De'Aaron Fox has done it so many times this year, the fourth quarter of games. We've all seen it. And, the Kings will be going through Sabonis to run the offense through most of the game. And then it becomes, fourth quarter Fox time. And he gets any shot he wants. And he gets, quite often, he gets just inside the foul line, left side of the key.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of if it goes in or not.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Everybody knows it's coming.
Yep.
But as you say, he's so fast, it's human nature. Well, I don't want him to dunk on me.
Exactly, right. It's a business decision, right? You got to decide. It's like, I cannot, because that's the thing. It's people have their physical limitations. At some point, it's just like, I literally cannot stay in front of this guy. So like you're saying, you have to give him something. You can't completely shut him down. So you're going to have to live with the result that you get. And I personally, like I said, I think that making De'Aaron Fox a jump shooter is a great strategy if you're the other team. However, it's a lot easier said than done.
You got to give him a lot of room to do that, right? He's so fast.
Absolutely.
You got to give him a lot of room.
Yep, and you have to sell out. You completely because he will. The thing about De'Aaron is he's an incredibly smart guy. He'll know that the Warriors are trying to do that. He's not just going to force that shot at the rim. If he feels like he doesn't have it, he's shown plenty of times this year the willingness to kick it out to threes and get those spray threes that Mike Brown likes to talk about all the time. The Kings offense is really centered around getting paint touches. It's not even necessarily about scoring when you're in the paint. It's just
inside out.
Can you get your 2 feet inside of the paint that causes a defender from the other side to collapse? It just makes the defense react. And once the defense reacts, you've won. That's when you can kick it out, and that's when the ball starts moving, and that's when you get your easy buckets. So, yes, the Warriors are going to try and make De'Aaron Fox a jump shooter. It's also on De'Aaron to take what the defense is giving him and still not settle for things.
Don't you think if it comes to the fourth quarter situation where Fox is being fourth quarter Fox and you're the Warriors, we got to do something. I mean, trap him, just try to get the ball out of his hands
for sure.
Something.
Right. That's where it's like he's not Steph Curry, because Steph Curry, you do that and he still manages to get away. I don't know if De'Aaron has the experience of being double teamed and really paid that much attention to on the offensive end. It could definitely be something where it's like, Golden State views anybody but De'Aaron the same way that we've kind of talked about Steph Curry of, Steph Curry is going to do his thing. You can try and slow him down, but also make sure Andrew Wiggins doesn't have a 30-point game. Maybe that's the approach that the Warriors take as well. Let De'Aaron do what he's going to do, but don't let Kevin Huerter have a 30-point game. We were talking about Keegan Murray. Don't let Keegan Murray get any shots, because there are a lot of guys on this Kings offense that require De'Aaron's ball movement and in the space he creates for them in order to get their offense.
Am I allowed to change my answer to our poll question from a couple days ago? Can I switch to your side? I mean, it's
You wanna
over
be
now
on
anyway.
Team Fox?
But which team?
So it's now 90%.
Who has the most to prove? And I made the case that it's Sabonis, but it is Fox because he's got this opportunity now to improve, actually score legacy points.
Yes.
To show that he belongs on that stage. To a degree, Sabonis has already shown he's been in the playoffs. He's got a chance. He's going to be a top 5 MVP. Vote getter probably.
Yeah.
But Fox has that opportunity to show that I belong on this stage with some of the greatest guards we've ever seen.
Right. And I mean, Sabonis, he's going to probably be 3rd team All-NBA. There's not too many centers that he's competing
So
with.
He hasn't played well in the playoffs, but he already has proven a lot.
Exactly.
And Fox hasn't had that opportunity
And
yet.
in the NBA, it's so deep. And just think about the amount of guards that he's competing with on a yearly basis. I mean, you have Steph, you have Luka, you have John Morant, you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you have Trae Young, you have Damian Lillard, you have Kyrie Irving. These are all just guys off the top of my head, and I just listed 7 guys. There's such deeper competition at the guard spot that, yes, this is absolutely a moment for De'Aaron to get his name more solidified in that list. And it's just about, once you're in that list, that's its own separate battle where you're fighting for spots in the All-NBA and your routine All-Stars and stuff like that. So De'Aaron's trying to put himself into that kind of conversation.
Today's poll, a YouTube poll, Kings and Warriors are rivals. Absolutely, which is what I say. 23%. It's not my week on these polls. Close, but not yet. 52%. No, beat LA. 25%. So my absolutely coming in 3rd of the 3. It is a rivalry.
Absolutely.
It's a cold rivalry, but it's there. It's been lurking, and we'll get some blood pumped into it here in the next few days.
I think again, I'm going to stand by it. I think it's a rivalry. I think at the very least, it's a one-sided rivalry. I know Kings fans do not look at Warriors fans and think it's okay. Their enemy is my enemy's enemy is my friend. That's not the situation, I think, at least from a Kings perspective.
How daunting is this from the Kings standpoint? I mentioned The Athletic. They asked anonymously a coach, scout, and an exec to comment on the upcoming series. We know 6 of the matchups we'll have. So the 3 of them, the coach, the scout, the exec, gave their picks for these series, including, of course, the Warriors-Kings. Here's what the coach, this anonymous coach, said. I'm still going to say the Warriors will win. The Kings don't have that playoff heartbreak yet. You need to go through the playoffs and have a little heartbreak to learn how to play in them, in my opinion. I'm going to go out on a limb here. That place is going to be bonkers, he says. But Sacramento has had such a great year. Everybody I talked to, and I feel the same way, says this team is going to be set up for a letdown where the Kings can't match that intensity. Set up for a letdown. Inevitable heartbreak.
Inevitable, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we're being raised to be slaughtered. That's all it is, right? We're all of this good feeling. It's all just so that it hurts a whole lot more when it ends, right? That's what he's saying.
It sounds like a coach who's been through it.
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
Too. Yeah.
It sounds like somebody who's been hurt before.
Yeah.
What was the Warriors moment of their going through, kind of going through it? You mentioned we talked with Ryan Hollins, maybe those Clipper series, but even then the Warriors came. I think they eventually made it through the Clippers. I don't know if they ever lost to the Clippers, did they?
What they did was they lost to the, let's see. They lost to the Clippers right before Steve Kerr took over.
Mm-hmm.
They were out in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before that, they'd kind of snuck into the playoffs. They beat Denver, and then they lost to San Antonio, which was like, this is great.
Right.
We're getting better now. We're on that upward trajectory.
Right.
And the next year, the Clippers said, night, night. And then they got rid of Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
And then Steve Kerr came in, and they started, we won the championship, won 73 games.
Yeah.
So if they had any heartbreak, it was those 2 years, but especially that loss to the Clippers.
Yeah, interesting, because you don't really think of the Warriors any time of it. It felt like it was just not overnight, but the second
they lost to LeBron, when they had the 3-1 lead.
Right.
Yeah, but what they did was they went out, let's get Kevin Durant.
Right.
So,
exactly. Well, and they had already won the season before that too, so they didn't really. I guess to poke a hole in that coach's argument, sometimes you don't have to. It's not a 100% requirement that you go through heartbreak in order to find success. Sometimes maybe it's inevitable, and maybe at some point, like you're saying, the Warriors didn't really reach that until that Cleveland Cavaliers series, but maybe eventually it all comes for you. But I don't know if you have to go through it.
The other thing is, even if that's absolutely true, I don't think it is, but even if that's absolutely true, that doesn't mean that the Kings have to go through that heartbreak in this round.
Absolutely. That was going to be my next point is, why can't you find a little bit of success first? And then it doesn't even have to be heartbreak. Again, I keep saying, I don't know if even maybe if the Kings get swept, it's disappointing, but I don't know if it's possible for heartbreak to be the result of this season for Sacramento.
Hey, Live Nation has got your plug to check out Kathleen Madigan at Hard Rock Live on May 13th. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Right now, we got a pair of tickets to Kathleen Madigan, Hard Rock Live, May 13th. We will go with caller number, what do you think, Chris Wagas?
Deuce, number 2. There's 2 days until Saturday, and, we just miss our dear friend Deuce Mason.
David,
acquaintance.
Yes.
We know him. We know a guy.
Yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Caller 2, you get a pair of tickets to see Kathleen Madigan, and we definitely do miss Deuce very much. Coming up, another playoff time tradition that Kings fans don't need to worry about this year. It's next on the Sactown Sports Playoff Push.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports,
your official home for 49ers football.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Sunny skies this afternoon with temperatures warming into the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. North winds will be on the decrease and expect clear skies to last through the night tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
A nice warm shower is not so nice if it doesn't drain like it should. Well, let's fix that right now. Get a sewer inspection, including mainline drain cabling and video analysis, just $97. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. What's going on for Ram Truck Month, Chad?
Big savings and even better financing. Save up to $11,500 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. Plus, financing as low as 1.9%. That's thousands more in savings on the truck you've always wanted. And we have over 400 new Ram trucks available, so you're sure to find your perfect truck.
Well, what if we're looking to save a few bucks at the pump?
We've got you covered there, too, with up to $14,000 in net savings when you lease a 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe for only $459 a month for 36 months and only $19.95 due at signing. This is easily one of the best plug-in hybrids you can get.
And that is why Hoblet has so many great customer reviews. They make you feel like family. Stop by for a test drive today or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$11,500 total net savings after $5,500 factory rebates and $6,000 dealer discount. Rebates include $2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital qualify. $500 on-the-job uplift for business owners. Special 1.9% financing available for 36 months on free credit through Chrysler Capital. $14,000 total net savings for lessee only. Includes $3,000 My Card lease bonus cash. $7,500 hybrid electric Fed tax credit rebate. Plus $3,500 Hoblet discount. 10,000 miles per year. 25 cents per mile in excess. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Eldridge.
I want to be that song.
And so many more.
Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, Bill Eats RV, and Naughty Wood Barbecue.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Latta with your Sactown Sports headlines. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Sacramento Kings head coach Mike Brown has been voted Coach of the Year by the National Basketball Coaches Association. The vote is from all 30 head coaches in the NBA, and the official NBA Coach of the Year has yet to be announced. The Oakland A's broke a 6-game losing streak with an 8-4 win over the Orioles, and they are trying to win their first series of the season today. Unfortunately, they came up short. They lost 8-7 with the Orioles in walk-off fashion. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport is reporting that Dan Snyder and Joe Harris, the owner of the 76ers and New Jersey Devils, have reached an agreement on a sale worth a little over $6 billion to the Harris Group. Those are your headlines, and now back to Whitey and Watkins.
It's a very interesting prediction for the series on the YouTube chat from Peppy Guns, pardon me.
Warriors. Sometimes it's hard to read people's usernames.
Also, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, make sure it's clean, it's appropriate.
Warriors forfeit game 4 due to beam fatigue.
Ooh,
Kings
I like
in 3.
that. I like that.
Wow.
Do you have any special ideas for the beams for the postseason? I don't know how much time you've thought about it.
It's so awesome as it is. No,
Yeah.
I haven't. To me, it's great as it is.
Yeah.
The only thing I know, there were some people, I don't know if they're around here, but some people suggested to me that, hey, even if they don't win when they clinch a playoff spot, they need to light the beam. And to me, it's like, nope, that's not what it's for. But other than that, I don't even know if you need to do anything else because it's so cool as it is.
Yeah, no, I think Rami might have the idea. I could definitely be misquoting Rami, but I think Rami had the idea of like individual beams for every win of the series. So I don't know if that would be 4 or if it would be a collection of 16 possible beams. Obviously, 16 wins gets you the championship. But I think there's something there. But you're right. Like the
don't
beam,
need to overthink.
The beam is so perfect. And
you win, like the beam. You don't. Okay,
yes.
what's wrong with that?
You're also completely right. And there was a lot of talk, and we talked about it here on this here station during this here time slot about should the Kings light the beam for non-victory reason, non-game victory reasons. Should they do it when they extend Monty McNair, when they break the playoff drought without winning a game?
When Mike Brown wins Coach of the Year.
When Mike Brown wins Coach of the Year. If they get an MVP, if De'Aaron Fox wins Jerry West Player of the Year, will they light the beam for that? Probably not.
I hope not. It's very simple. What is it?
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to the Cubs years and years and years ago. They had a flag with a W on it.
Yeah.
And when they won at Wrigley Field, the flag would go up.
Right.
And in Anaheim Stadium for years, they had a halo would shine. They had the big A scoreboard with a halo, and when they won, they light it up. And it was nothing compared to the beam, but it's very simple. You don't need to complicate it. You win, you light the beam, and that's great.
Let's not get into beam politics because that's a very touchy subject here for me. But people got really upset at me because I made guidelines. They were guidelines.
Yes.
They were guidelines to follow. And it was also
that was for when you chant light the beam,
yes,
right?
I was going to ask, do you feel like there should be any not even stipulations, because again, I don't care if people chant light the beam in your seat. I will not come and silence you, but
this is
do
only
you feel like
I only met you a week ago,
right?
And we're getting along great. And the last thing I want to do is blunder into something where I say, that'd be stupid. You say, well, that was my number one rule.
That was kind of my idea. So appreciate it. No, I mean, I just my main thing, even with that, was just we're gonna get memed at some point for it. Like at some point, you're going to chant it too early, and then the Warriors come back and make a huge comeback, and then next thing you know, on Bleacher Report, oh, Kings fans a little early on their celebration. That's all I was trying to avoid. But
Scooter 916 says that is correct. Watkins, Rami said 16 beams, 1 for each win.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not bad. It's just not necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I mean, the beam is already strong enough too. I can only imagine. I've heard rumors of how much it costs the team to just light the beam on one night.
Oh, really?
I cannot imagine what the electricity bill would look like if they had 16 individual beams going on at once for an 8-hour period. No thanks.
A couple nights ago, watching the play-in and watching bogey play for the Hawks, I was reminded of something we used to do as Kings fans. And every year on this station years ago, once the drought started, in the early years of the drought, the playoffs would start And we would always, me and Phantom and Justin and FP and Kevin the Rat and, of course, Mark Kreidler, and we would go down a list of, okay, here are the former Kings who are actually in the playoffs. And when the Kings were really struggling, they had a lot of changeover every year, and they would have a lot of guys in and out. And it's interesting this year, there aren't that many, but there are a few former Kings that are in the playoffs. And it's just cool that now we don't have to say, oh, I'm going to root for these guys.
I know.
Because the Kings aren't in.
We'll have a whole squad. We have a whole squad of guys that we can all root for, but it's still a fun exercise nonetheless, because especially I've mentioned, it does feel like Sacramento is a very tribal place, and especially with the Kings, they're very tribal about our guys and, having pride in being a Sacramento King and all of that. So
we have a few, and we may have missed somebody.
Yes.
And if we have, please let us know.
Please let us know in the chat if we missed somebody. We tried to go through all the teams before the show started and get the list, but the list of candidates that we came up with,
former Kings that are in the playoffs with other teams.
Former Kings in the playoffs with other teams. Wenyen Gabriel, Los Angeles Lakers.
See, I was very proud that I came up with that one.
Bogdan Bogdanovic, who you mentioned, Atlanta Hawks. Sacramento Kings favorite Dwayne Dedman.
Philly, I think.
I believe he's on Philly. Dante DiVincenzo, formerly last season of the Kings, now on the Warriors. Seth Curry of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And then two players who were drafted by Sacramento but never actually suited up, Xavier Tillman and Bismack Biyombo.
Oh,
Bismack Biyombo, notoriously traded for
that's a
Jimmer
sore subject
Fredette.
Right now.
Jimmer Fredette.
Who did the Kings pass on? Who decided he was going to make them pay every time he played them?
Well, one Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
that would be who they missed. I think they also missed on Kawhi Leonard that season as well. And I could be wrong on this, but I think Giannis Antetokounmpo was also that draft. I could definitely be wrong on that one. I
think he was later.
I think he might have been Ben McLemore draft. Might have been the Giannis.
Yeah,
draft.
I think he was
that
later.
Was Pete D'Alessandro's first draft.
I think that was right.
That was right after Pete, because allegedly Petrie gave D'Alessandro a scouting report
hey, this
on
is a
Giannis.
guy that we have been scouting. You might want to take a look at him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly when that fell, but yeah. Point is, not many to choose from this year, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Oh, it's definitely a good thing.
It is, okay.
Because the alternative is they're all in the playoffs and the actual team is not.
There was a year, I remember Darren Collison, Tyreek Evans, DeMarcus Cousins, all were in the playoffs, and I was like, this was literally our team last year, and now all of these guys are in the postseason. So if I had to pick one of these former Sacramento Kings that I'm pulling for the most, I got to go with Bogdan Bogdanovic. I really enjoyed Bogey's stint here. It was fun because he was the first, the Kings were his first team after coming from overseas. He came here. He has a huge moment for Sacramento as well. He had a game winner against the Los Angeles Lakers, which me and Frankie were talking about a couple weeks ago. Might still be a top 3 moment in Golden One Center history, which says quite a bit about the moments that have happened in Golden One Center to this point. So I'm going to go with Bogdan Bogdanovic, who is always also throw on top of it. Seems like an incredibly nice guy and a great teammate.
Yeah, no question. And of the guys that you mentioned, and I don't know that we missed any.
I don't think so. Yeah, let's check. I'll check the chat.
But of those guys, he's the only one about whom I feel like, oh yeah, he was a king. I know they all were briefly.
Exactly.
Seth had his issues, I guess, with
George Karl.
Yeah, and he really took off after he was here. But Bogey was he was a foundational piece.
He was a foundational piece, absolutely.
And he was good, too.
Yep, he was really good. It felt like they had, it was almost like their backcourt of the future of Fox, Buddy Hield, and Bogdan Bogdanovic. And I think it's unfortunate that they kind of ended up having to make the choice between Buddy and Bogey on which one they were going to give the contract to. And, now neither of them are here, but I still would love to have Bogdan Bogdanovic on this team. I think he would be a great addition and just somebody I think Kings fans really miss too.
You know what? The Hawks are very talented.
Yeah, they are. They're really scary, especially
go far now, but you watch their team and they come at you in waves, and guys like Okongwu, Onyeka Okongwu.
That's one of the tougher names to say. Onyeka Okongwu. Yep.
He's a really good player.
Really good player. Yeah. He's like a Clint Capella light, and they have Clint Capella as well. Jalen Johnson, somebody who I really liked in that game. DeAndre Hunter. You can go down the list. I mean, they just have a lot of talented people. Unfortunately,
DeJounte's probably been a little disappointed this year.
I'm not a huge Trae Young guy either. I think they could probably use a different guy who stirs the drink there in Atlanta. But I agree with you. I really, really like that Atlanta team, and I just think with Quinn Snyder addition as well. I think that they're really close to having something there. They just need to figure it out because it just doesn't quite fit. The players don't quite fit in Atlanta.
They better figure it out in a hurry because they got to play the Celtics.
Yeah, right. they have a 4-game date with the Boston Celtics, who have just been running through people all season long. And with the Celtics length, I think that series is over in 4.
Which of the other series besides the Warriors and the Kings that we know of would you say, ooh, that's the juiciest series?
I like the Knicks Cavs, and maybe it's because I heard Stephen A. Smith a couple weeks ago really hyping up the matchup, but I do like the Donovan Mitchell going into the Garden. We saw what Trae Young did going into the Garden, but Donovan Mitchell has that link to New York. A lot of Knicks fans wanted the Knicks to pursue him. I think that's going to be a really fun series, and anytime you can get the Garden in the playoffs, sign me up.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about juice, but the beefiest to me is still, and I know Russ says no problem.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday.
Durant against Russ.
Yeah, I didn't even put it
Suns
together.
Eclipse.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good matchup because how do you think their relationship is?
Like non-existent.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like just like if I'll acknowledge him, but I'm never going to text him. I'm never going to say anything bad about him.
Yeah,
but it's over.
It definitely feels like there's not a lot of love.
It's like me and Carmichael Dave.
Exactly. Yeah. And you guys can be in the same room, but you can tell that there's just nothing there.
But we're done.
Yeah, definitely. I get that vibe.
Rami's going to join us for the return of story time.
Can't wait.
What?
Cannot wait for this. This is your first story time with Chris Milad?
Sir.
Oh, these are incredible. Chris has got we previewed one of his stories. We got some good stories waiting.
I'm looking forward to it. Sactown Sports Playoff Push. Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
It's Kettles and Rami.
Here on Sactown Sports 1140 on this Monday.
Hey, everybody.
Gonna rage against the machine.
75 degrees and sunny.
It's a nice day out there, isn't it?
50 in the afternoon.
My goodness.
Here's some rage against the machine for you.
The thing is, those people exist.
100%.
And have sounded like that for decades.
And have made a lot of money doing it.
More money than you and I have.
Yes.
Kettles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Kings are in the playoffs, and Sactown Sports and Quick Quack Car Wash want to send you to a game. Head to the Sactown Sports website and register to win a pair of tickets to Game 2 of the first round at Golden One Center. All courtesy of Quick Quack, proud partner of the Sacramento Kings with over 30 locations in the Sacramento area. At Quick Quack, wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership and enjoy the fast service that will have your car clean, shined, and dry in under 3 minutes.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
At Game Time Sports Bar and Grill in Oroville, we know that you want to experience all the biggest games and fights of the season in larger-than-life detail on our 22-foot screen.
Bigger is better.
We have a fresh, tasty menu, and don't forget about our self-serve tap wall. Get in on the best action at Game Time Sports Bar and Grill. Bigger screens, tastier food and drinks, and the liveliest gaming experience around. Only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
For a precision crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Everybody gather around. Almost story time here. The Sactown Sports Playoff Push. By the way, tomorrow, you won't want to miss us. We got Jerry Reynolds coming on, and we got Mark Dagnall lookalike, Frankie Hardiscali going to join us. Yeah. So that'll be tremendous.
Coach of the Year candidate.
Yeah. Before we get to Christopher Lowe's story time, Rami, welcome. I have a quick question for you.
Yes, gentlemen.
You know, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, no basketball tonight. What do I do? What do I watch? What's your recommendation?
What should you watch?
Yeah. Like a stream.
Chris recommended Beef on Netflix.
That was one of the shows I was just gonna say. I'm only 2 episodes in. It's been really good.
Yeah.
It's dark, dude. It's dark. It's just 2 people who
just have beef,
have a chance encounter, and as a result have beef, and are just doing terrible things to each other through the first 2 episodes. That's all that I've seen. And it's funny. It's dark.
Yep.
You're wondering, like, is somebody going to get murdered? Like,
is it as dark as Barry?
No, it's not that.
Not quite that dark.
Okay.
I can't wait for the new season of Barry. Can't wait for that. I love. Me and my girlfriend just plowed through the show. Dave, you guys watch Dave at all?
Dave is great.
FX
with Little
and
Dicky.
Hulu.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We watched 3 seasons or the first
So
2 seasons in like a week, and the 3rd season just started. And we also picked up on. We were rewatching The Sopranos for a while.
I just did that too.
And she's a terrible TV watcher. I'm a professional TV watcher. Like, I will binge.
Doesn't surprise
me.
me.
You just plow through,
I will
right?
just binge.
Yeah. How many
of a
episodes
TV
do you
show.
have to watch for it to be a binge?
4.
I would say
that
sounds about
right.
right.
Is it a half-hour show? Is it an hour-long show? You know what I mean?
Rami, that's a vet. That's how you know he's a vet, right?
Thank you. So we were rewatching The Sopranos, and then she quit, and I was like, "What?" It was her first time through. I've seen it before. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
We're just gonna quit?" And last night, all of a sudden, she's like, "Let's watch The Sopranos." I was like, "Cool." So that's always good to go and revisit a classic like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I have a friend who one time he's like, I binge watched whatever it was last night. And I said, how many did you watch? He goes, I watched 2.
That's not
close to a binge.
No, you just watched a couple episodes. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all you did.
We're looking forward to Kettles and Rami. Right now, though, it's story time.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Christopher Laud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. Story time.
All right, gentlemen, we had a sneak preview earlier in the day. This story comes from, Sacramento. This is a first.
Hey.
Courtesy of CBS News. A 7-foot alligator was, quote, found in the American River this week. Captain Patrick Foy of the California Department of Fish and Wildlife said the department got an anonymous call a week ago saying, quote, I'm aware of a friend who has an alligator and they want to make sure it gets taken care of properly. The state was not able to track down the caller, but the alligator turned up at a Wildlife Care Association in Sacramento on Wednesday by a man who brought the alligator to the facility in a trailer with its mouth taped shut and claimed that he found the alligator at Sailor Bar in Fair Oaks.
Okay. I just found this alligator.
No, wait, you said bar. This is not like a bar where it was getting a drink. This was like this.
It's like an area on the road.
All right.
Sure, okay. Yeah. I was drinking and I saw this alligator out there and I was like, I can wrestle that thing.
Yeah. So the alligator walks into a bar.
So it's not still. Well played. Yeah. So it's not still in the river, right?
No. So the alligator was taken to a facility in the Bay Area and that was better equipped to handle the animal, but unfortunately it died hours later due to poor health.
Why are things and people always dying in Storytime with Christopher Love? What is that? Why is that?
Officials do not suspect that the alligator was caught in the wild. Captain Foy said that the winters in California, alligators would end up succumbing to our winters. They wouldn't be able to survive.
Sure.
In California, if someone is found guilty of possessing an alligator, you can receive a maximum fine of $1,000.
That's it? Not enough.
And it could also come with 6 months in jail.
Still not enough.
Needs to come with 6 months.
Yeah, that's still not enough.
Or 1 month in jail with the alligator.
Yes.
Or choice. That. Yeah.
Got to get the option.
Hell in the cell.
You can do some major damage to a whole ecosystem. Are you guys familiar with the story of Pablo Escobar's cocaine hippos?
That was on Storytime.
No.
Like we've already had a Storytime about the hippos.
They've completely wrecked the ecosystem of Colombia, and there's their bloodline is still alive, and hippos are not native to Colombia. Pablo Escobar was just a crazy drug pin and was like, "Let me buy some hippos," and brought them in, and they broke loose and did what animals do. They reproduced, and now there's like a whole lineage of Pablo Escobar cocaine hippos that are just running amok.
Cocaine bear. Who's the favorite?
Oh, hippos. Hippos are the most dangerous animal in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people
you ever
see
those videos?
Little baby hippos. And look, it's cute. That thing will eat your face.
Quick.
That thing will eat your face with a quickness. Don't trust a hippo. You heard it here first.
Chris, are they looking into the guy who called and said, my friend has a gator? Right.
It's being investigated right now. I think we have time for one more.
Okay, let's do it.
This comes courtesy of, this is Minneapolis, Minnesota, courtesy of the Daily Mail. I think we all know the song, Skilo, I Wish.
Sure.
I think Moses Gibson knows the song well because he also wishes he was a little bit taller. But he didn't just wish for it. He made it happen. Moses has spent $165,000 for leg surgery to go from 5'5" to 5'10" in 2 cosmetic procedures. In 2016, he had his first surgery to gain 3 inches, and last month he just had another surgery. The surgery involves doctor breaking Moses's tibia and fibula and screwing magnetic limb lengthening nails into them.
Well, sure. How else would you do it? Yeah.
He also uses a height lengthening device 3 times a day, which pulls the cut bones apart 1 millimeter at a time. He says the surgery has cured his insecurities and left him feeling much more free.
I'm glad, but can I just say this? 5'10", not tall enough.
I was just gonna say, dude, you did all that to not even be 6 foot. Like people aren't impressed by
5'3" to 6 feet.
I know that's what I'm saying.
You might as well make it 6 feet.
It's 2 more inches.
This is
look a lot better on your Tinder profile.
NBA teams that are a little bit size challenged. Right. I mean, it's got to be like, I got to bring the guys in and go, you got to take one for the team.
And also,
how much do you want to win? You're 6'6". We need some help in the front court. We want you to go see this doctor.
Yep. I have a friend who had one leg significantly shorter than the other. So he had that surgery on the one leg, and it is excruciating painful and difficult process. Yeah. And his leg is like disfigured,
right?
Like it's
a cosmetic surgery, like Chris said. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think it's
and like
for functionality necessarily.
He can't really run and do things like play basketball. Like I don't know, man. I'll just stay short, especially if it's not 6 foot. Like you said, if you don't have 6 foot on your Tinder profile, it might as well be 5'5".
Might as well be 5'5".
Like it does 5'10" ain't
There's
doing
no
nothing.
difference.
5'10" is doing nothing.
I just don't understand. There's a South Park episode about this. Actually, funny enough, where Kyle wants to play basketball and then his knees explode after he has.
That has not aged very well.
No, it definitely is not. His dad turns into a dolphin.
Thank you, Chris. Tremendous. Except for the part about the alligator. I was going to see if we could name the alligator. It's like, no. We can't now.
Yeah,
What do you guys have
Posthumously.
coming up today?
On the show today, you mentioned you have Frankie Cardicelli tomorrow.
Yes.
It's playoff week, baby. We have
Yeah,
Frankie
we gotta use
Cardicelli
him.
today, 3 to 3:30 for a good half hour. We'll have Frankie Cardicelli, and obviously a lot more Kings talk throughout the
What's
afternoon.
going on with the Kings? What?
And they're in the playoffs.
What?
Yeah, first time in
I
17
should've known
years.
that.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy, isn't it?
We should
That's-
probably do this show over again.
wild.
We didn't mention that once this whole time.
Kettles and
We did not
Rye
mention
next
that
on
once.
Sactown Sports.
The regular season is over. Now the real test begins.
Kings will have the number 3 seed.